Pulitzer here, who has invented everything in the planet. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for last time. That was great.
Certainly. Thank you for having me here.
Rob, pull up tab 2. Out of all the things you've invented, what would you say you're most proud of, whether it's the big one, little one? What's something that you were able to invent, patent, that you're just really proud of?
Probably, I think the most of all that I've done is probably a lot more in my recent work people don't know about, but I don't know if you've ever had anybody in your family have cancer, and you know chemotherapy kills, right?
Yeah.
Because chemotherapy is still just hit or miss. It's only the flavor of the day. And so one of my newest patents in the medical field is a little bitty device about the size of a stick of chewing gum, and it's got little bitty channels in it, okay? So once you find out maybe you have cancer, the doctor will take just a little bitty biops, right? Little bitty biops of it. You liquefy it, and you drop it in this little chamber in this little device that's a lot like a maze and a mousetrap, right? And it's got these slots in it. So now as those cancer cells run that gauntlet, if it goes through gauntlet number 1 and makes it to gauntlet number 2, then we know this chemo treatment that we have in number 1 won't work. And then if it goes through number 2 and now gets over to number 3, then we know this chemo treatment won't work. Say it gets over to number 3, and about halfway up, the cancer cells pop, they explode. Now we know not only will this chemo treatment work, but here's exactly the dose not to overdose your body. And so that's what I think I'm most proud of. I think it'll change how we dose people with chemotherapy, because it's hit or miss, and more people die from chemotherapy than they actually die from the cancer itself. And so that's probably one of the ones I'm most proud of right now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if you have cancer, like my mom had it bad, she ended up passing away ultimately from it later in life. If you have, they just give you chemo.
Yeah, right. Well, chemo is really chemicals. It would be chemicals you like clean your floor with, chemicals you strip paint with. I mean, it's that hard, right? It's totally hard stuff. And the balance is, can your body fight it off enough to kill the cancer cells and not let the chemotherapy kill you? Where we have to go is, does your phone have a case on it?
Yeah.
Let me see your phone. Okay. And so Bitcoin, give me your Bitcoin password.
Yeah. Oh. Fuck Bitcoin.
Okay, so look at your case here. Here's where I head, and I deal with this. You carry this around with you all day long. One of the things happen is you're always putting cells, not cell calls, but cells and sweat on your phone as you hold it. Where I'm headed is like your mother. When she had cancer, it started out as a very, very tiny speck in her body. But the medical system is not designed to deal with it when it's the smallest. It's only designed when it's like, Fetterman in Pennsylvania, got Uncle Fester growing out of your neck, right? And then that's when we deal with that crap. Well, it's already got a hold of your body. So we have to find it quick. And so where I'm headed is ultimately your phone, because it's a communication device and you sweat and you hold it, we'll be able to monitor all the systems in your bodies. And the moment that cell starts to change, because there's a triggering effect, then and there you can say, hey, you should go get this checked. You want to catch it when it's a tiny, tiny cell, not when it's grown into a twin on your shoulder. And that's how we get past this stuff and do it.
That's great. So as I hold this, say I'm starting to get, my cells are coming off every time I go like this. Now, if I'm just starting to get a cancer cell, let's just say, for example, the phone would notify me in some way, shape, or form, hey, there's a cell to check.
Well, it would just say, hey, get this checked out, and it would do give me an example. You ever had a splinter?
Yeah.
And you know that splinter gets there, and it could be very tiny. Some of the tiniest ones hurt. But you see how your body responds? It starts to give you a pain signal, an inflammation signal, even though that splinter is very tiny. It's using that same effect. You think about something going wrong inside your body, is it starts to swell, it starts to throw off those signals. We just haven't learned how to read them super far in advance. We see them when it's too late. This is about seeing them quicker and faster. Eventually, your light switches will be able to do it. Your steering wheel will be able to do it. It will just monitor you the whole time. Not evil, bad cabal crap. It's just, okay, where are you today? You want your steering wheel in your car to say, hey, you really should stop drinking those Monsters. It's messing with you. You know what I mean?
Lectured.
That is not stress on your steering wheel. You're messing with your adrenals. We can do every bit of that. Technology can be that great. and can be used that amazing to help mankind.
Now, how much pushback do you think Big Pharma is going to push back with that? Because if you do that, they're going to lose money, right?
Big Pharma is, it's interesting. We can cure, and I'll give it to you this way. We can now detect 6,000 different types of diseases that mankind has through their piss.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so think about when your wife gets pregnant, girlfriend gets pregnant, or in your case, all those different girls in all those different states that got pregnant when they got that stick.
Are you I'm already in trouble. I'm going to be in the doghouse for another 6 months. Thanks, Jovan. Thanks a lot, buddy.
So when the woman urinates on that stick, it changes color. That's called lateral flow chromatology. We can learn everything through piss in the human body. Now, you know how cheap those are. Even though we can detect all of these diseases through a stick like that, that's cost about 28 cents to make, what does the medical industry want you to do? They want you to go to the labs and pay $4,000 for blood draws and tests, and they could tell the same thing in piss. They don't want that done. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of pushback, but that's where consumers come in. Consumers have to be their own advocates and have to push their own advocates. But you're right. In the medical field, it's a freaking racket.
And even if you tell somebody that, and I've told people in my family, like, enough with this PCP, go to this doctor.
Right,
and
right.
The doctor that I had suggested doesn't take insurance. And the reason why they don't take insurance was because they were prescribing, say, brand name this, brand name that.
Right.
Not the generic, because as you obviously know, some generics are the same, some don't. Some brand name works a lot better than the generic. So he would write prescription for the brand name for certain patients because he was actually a doctor that cared and couldn't get bought off.
Right.
And the insurance would just give him hell.
That's right.
So then eventually he said, you know what, the hell with it. I'm just going to open my own clinic, cash only. So I had suggested to many people with cancer, all kinds of problems, like, even if they hurt their shoulder, and you need rotator cuff surgery, you need hip surgery, blah, 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 blah. No, you really don't. I would suggest to go to them. But they had in their mind, no, I have to go to the doctor. I have to do this, even though that doctor is going to say, oh, okay, well, let me refer you to this guy. And then that guy's going to say, let me refer you to that guy and this guy. How do you change that mind and get that in people's mindset that that's not working anymore? Well, it's all racket.
It's three different ways. You have the big pharma, which we now know is bad pharma, right? We've learned a lot of things since 2020. The whole, they used to tell us the media wasn't biased or whatever. Now we're scared of, everything going on because we know they're bad. So you've had the pharma companies push things. Just like, why would they pay you a $35,000 bonus if you say the patient has this, right? So we know that's bad. Now we know. Then we've got hospitals. Hospitals have bonuses too. They get paid to use certain things. In between you, a consumer, is a thing called a PBM. The PBMs are what really allow your doctor to process insurance things. It allows, okay, the doctor's going to get this much money. We're going to pay this much back. The PBMs sit out there in concert with the insurance companies. And when they find something that really works, that's getting results in people, which means they're not going to continue getting, they drop it from the list.
Yeah.
They drop it from the list and you're screwed. All of a sudden you can't get that anymore. I don't begrudge anybody making a profit. I don't think you should profit from keeping people sick, etc. You shouldn't, but people have to get educated on their own. We do it to ourselves. So long before they can screw the pooch with us, right, and charge money, we don't pay attention to the things we should pay attention to in our own lives.
And what's unbelievable is we talked to an insurance rep, and he had a budget of $20,000 a month. And if he didn't spend the $20,000 a month on doctors, he got discounted on his check.
Right.
That's how insane it is.
Right. Look, it's all payola, but I think it's become a monster. It's very hard to back out of these things, just like voting rules. It's going to be very hard to back out of all these things until we really just torch them all and agree to start all over. Right now, the system is not in favor of health or the individual user. It's completely the opposite.
Go to tab 3. With the whole bank thing, that happened, Silicon Valley, all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang. Now they're talking that maybe J.P. Morgan was behind it, this, that. What do you think?
there's a few things going on. I know, look, I'll just admit with you, before I even got into this election stuff, I was capitalist and do all my inventions. I never talked about politics. I never did. But then when I saw my country take a dive during the Trump administration, not because the country wasn't doing well, just watching the left attack them, I knew I had to do something. And when 2020 happened, I knew I had to do something about the elections. I can honestly tell you, I never thought there was a big bad cabal. You know why? Because people are assholes. People don't work well together. Think about it. People have attitudes and people have access to ground. So how can you get all these people together to take over the United States of America? I never believed it. I was wrong. Oh, my God. There's something that trumps getting together, and that's just making a boatload of money, right? And so it's bad. And these banks, I do believe, if you look at what happened, it's a push down. It is a push down. They are trying to push all of us into a collective hive.
Did agendas undermine financial responsibility? Woke go broke.
Yes, that's it. That's right. The woke go broke. We have to. All the agendas right now are pushing us. You can either crater a country and have everybody go against their values, and all of a sudden, okay, we're going to buy our food from the commissary. We're only going to eat this. We're only going to do this. That's pretty damn hard, right? Do it in reverse. In other words, the government, which has the most employees of any corporation out there, the government gives all of their retirement income, all of their accounts to manage by these 4 big companies. Those 4 big companies manage it, and then they dictate to the corporations, okay, we want you to invest in these kind of companies only. And see, it's make or break. Somebody like a Target, a CEO, will agree to it because these guys can actually make his stock make or break in the market. If they wanted to liquidate it and put out the word, we think Target's in trouble, but they lose a lot. So now they've got control. So all of a sudden, we all think we're buying from products we like. Let's just take Burt's Bees, right? You've seen the little lip balm Burt's Bees and all this other stuff. Or Tom's toothpaste, which hired homeless people to fill those toothpaste. Really good. When they see Americans gravitate towards products like that, they will go in and drop $100 million and say, I want to buy your brand. Well, those guys go great. They do what they should do. American Dream, cash out. Now they roll them into these 11 commerce companies they've set up. There are 11 brands out there that control almost everything we buy and push it to Target, Walmart, and Amazon. And so what's going on is this grand consolidation that people don't even recognize, that 4 big companies control $22 trillion of our money and are all pushing us into this one funnel where we'll buy this way, buy these things, and now that's why they have the power. If they don't like what the company's saying, or if it's too conservative and they boot it out, they boot it out. George Soros is a lie, and here's what I mean. They try to give us boogeymen. We love our boogeymen. We want to go hate on George Soros, and we have the big debate. Why don't you see George Soros and Hillary in the same place? Maybe they're the same person. You know what I mean? But anyway, and so
you never know. I've seen some weird pictures, right?
And so we have this. We all get to have our devils we can hate on, and they do it all underneath. What we don't realize is we fund more of this. You and I. Certain products sitting on your table right now, when you buy certain things, a little bit of piece of that goes to funding these things, destroying America. I don't know if you watched the news stuff coming out today. I put an article out on it. We thought Black Lives Matter got $60 million in donations.
What'd they really get?
$89 billion.
Billion with a B?
With a B.
Wow.
Now that it's all being tracked down and we're looking at this banking stuff and how they shifted and how they put it out there, $89 billion to Black Lives Matter, which is destroying America, turning it fascist. Now think about that in relation to the Ukraine. Ukraine, we've given $100 billion, probably going to be more, but think about it. That's almost enough to prosecute a war against Russia, and they gave it to Black Lives Matter. All through all of these networks of nonprofits and the consumer companies that kind of hide it. Our own money, our own buying, every single day has been weaponized against us to push us into We're going to get to socialism before we ever know it's socialism because we're going to be buying from all the same places.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Breaking news, Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right, they are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shave your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code mscsmedia for 20% off and free shipping. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all the stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a monster of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. No more messing around in drawers, this color one, that color one, all with one guard. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower and avoid all that hair in the sink. The Pro Kit doesn't end there, though. First, there's the beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember your hair is different. Next, Manscaped's beard oil. Cap it off with beard balm. The Pro Kit also comes with 3 different gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code mscsmedia at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code mscsmedia. Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. Link is in the description below. This episode is brought to you by Let's Get Checked. Are you the man your father was? Recent studies have shown that men's testosterone levels have dropped substantially since the 1980s at about an average of 1% per year. Think about how old your father was when he was born. For example, if he was 30, your testosterone levels could be 30% lower than his. Low testosterone levels can have all types of health effects on men. It can affect your mood, sex drive, memory, muscle mass loss, you name it. And yes, low testosterone is more common the older you get, but it can affect men at any age. So let's talk about today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. You can order a testing kit that will be delivered to you in a discreet packaging with next-day delivery. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available from your secure online account within 2 to 5 days. So, if you want to test your hormone levels without having to leave your home, visit trylgc.com/mscsmedia and get 25% off your test using the code mscsmedia. The link is in the description at the top. I want to get back to the Walmart and Target and
Sure.
Amazon, but $89 billion.
$89 billion.
Who's the main person behind? Is it the Democratic Party to get them to vote? Is this all about votes? What is behind it? $89 billion.
I have to take you back in time to understand how this happened. With the JFK assassination, our government learned a lesson. They learned that Americans will accept whatever the media says. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to the 6-story JFK museum.
No, but I had James Fleeson.
Okay.
If you know who that is.
Yes. Yeah. So when you go to the museum, they show you a bullet, right?
Magic bullet.
The magic bullet. And here it is. This is what killed President Kennedy. The first thing you know about that bullet, it looks like somebody just pulled it right out of the shell.
Yeah. No markings, no nothing.
Nothing. But even a kid knows, thanks to shows like Mythbusters and stuff, take your .22, shoot it even through an air balloon, the bullet gets crinkled. Now, this bullet was supposed to go in and out of 2 people, car seats, car doors, come back, change direction, and go through. and like a good underworld movie, right? You've seen the vampires and underworld movie. Spontaneously, the president's body spit out this perfect bullet that they found on a stretcher there laying in the hallway. That's the crap. Now, when they learn to do that, they go, oh, wow, maybe we can do this. So JFK was moving us to make sure our dollars were on the silver standard, at least, not the gold standard, but the silver standard, instead of just printing it. So here's where we are today. They've been doing this steadily. We've been staying in war steadily, printing money, funding big families. Now, what happened is, as this stuff creeped in, it's literally what's called the Communist Manifesto. I'm sure you've heard of the Communist Manifesto. They started putting this very slowly under radar because even the communists said, the only way we can defeat America is to get America to defeat itself. The big cash dump that created what we're in today was created by certain laws and then Obama coming in. And here's what it was. Our government created a crisis that hit us in 2008. And it said, you're being racist and not giving people of color home loans, right? Mm-hmm. So they had this new standard in a home loan. And, oh, your credit's good, okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my God, look at all the melanin in your skin. Oh, well, you're approved. And that's literally what they did. They put this unnatural element in the qualifying process.
You mean like if your credit was 490, you got approved for a $400,000 house?
That's right. And they dropped people into homes. Well, a lot of those people couldn't pay it. It was well beyond their means, but they got approved. That was done as federal and state law. They said, we can deem you're racist. We'll pull your banking license. Well, all of that collapsed with Obama. Now, what did Obama do? They turned around and said, banks, you're idiots. Why would you give people that money? You maladministered the money. So here's what they did. Obama administration went to Bank of America. Bank of America got a $2 billion fine. And they said, you're going to be fined because you handled the money wrong and you caused this crash. What most people don't know is the Obama administration said, but, you don't really have to pay $2 billion. Here's what we'll do. If you agree to pay $1 billion, it's going to be a $2 billion fine. But if you pay $1 billion in cash, but you donate it to these nonprofits like Acorn, the predecessors for Black Lives Matter and all that, if you'll give them the money, we'll give you credit 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. And all of that money stood up all of these nonprofits. So now you have nonprofits that have a tremendous amount of money. So the rest of the Obama administration went to cultivating these culture warriors, and they got them placed at the top of these nonprofits. They got them placed at the top of companies. They created, you've got to have a diversity officer, and they turned on the spigot. And that's why in one day, what was your second grade teacher's name?
Mrs. Zimmerman.
Mrs. Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Okay. What if Mrs. Zimmerman says, Tommy, you're so damn pretty, you're really a woman, right? That's not a penis. That's just an ugly vagina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your parents and you would freak out if a teacher talked to you that way. Now it's okay.
I know.
It is all about undoing our country. All of that got turned on, and that's why it's in our face so fast. That's why it accelerated so fast, because they have so much money in so many places and now have a control in this swoop. They frankly just don't give a crap.
But why all that much money to Black Lives Matter just to control the entire narrative?
No, see, they can get let's say that you and I are in the government and we approve, and this is a real one, $1 billion for transgendered women's study in Afghanistan, right? Mm-hmm. Because if Afghanistan, you said that, they'd throw your ass off the top of a building. You know what I'm saying?
Or shoot you with an AK.
Right. And so here's this $1 billion. Well, what they do is they appropriate our money. They will send it to Afghanistan. Boom, here comes $1 billion. The Afghanistan people will take, meaning the people in cooperation, they'll take 200 or 300 million, and they send the other 700 million back to the United States as a payoff. That's how they launder our money.
I see.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's how they launder our money. Now, coming back into the United States, that's why all these guys have nonprofits and all this stuff, because it just looks like a donation from Afghanistan, right? The money goes there. Well, in the nonprofits, it's loosey-goosey. Some nonprofits run it right, have like a 20% operating expense, 80% of the money goes out. Or there's the Hillary Clinton method that 100% goes in, 1% goes out. And if you don't like it, well, don't suicide yourself. You know what I mean?
So this would explain to some extent why, let's just say a president who makes $400K a year gross,
right,
lives in a $20 million house, $40 million house. Yeah, you can go do speeches, but I don't know that you could afford a $40 million house, a yacht, a jet. This is just one example, correct?
Well, it goes back. They do it in libraries. Why do they build presidential libraries? Libraries are nonprofit. They can get tons of cash. They wash money that way. They do it in speaking. What's Hillary Clinton's little mongoloid child's name? What's Chelsea? Chelsea Clinton. Sorry. She might not be from that part of the country. I don't know. I said it because I'm from Arkansas. They're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know what you get when you put 32 members of my family in one room?
A really funny conversation?
No, a full set of teeth. So I can actually talk about people from Arkansas. Anyway, she got paid $1 million to speak at Harvard. Now, what would she say that would apply to Harvard? What would she say that would get a fee like that? Nothing.
Wonder.
Why do they always give the universities payouts and billions for payouts? Another way to launder money. We'll bring in, Shifty Shift, and he'll speak and get a $500,000 stipend for speaking. That's part of the money laundering process.
Fuck. And now, when you look at the Silicon Valley situation, I mean, that was only $3 billion, not $89 billion that we know of. Now,
well, which one? The SVB?
The second largest.
Yeah. They had assets of $212 billion. They had a $5 billion asset, but the asset was $212 billion. It's the second largest ever.
Because the news will tell you one thing, you look at another thing.
They're trying to minimize it and tell you it's no big deal.
I can show you 20 articles that says $3 billion, then $5 billion, then $3 billion.
It's $212 billion. They went from $212 billion of assets to technically zero. And it's all going to try to be an insurance rig of how they can get it out. But it's a really dicey game. Sorry, go ahead.
And what's your take on that? How does that happen?
Well, I think what happened is it's the nature of criminals. So let's go back to Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried, was that the fuzzy-headed kids, binary, whatever twit?
Yeah. The money seemed to go somehow to the Democratic Party,
right?
As we could trace if we pull.
That was a big trigger. Here's what happened. They started transferring Bitcoin, which is used that unanimously, just crypto coin. They started pushing crypto coin to pay these lawmakers. Lawmakers, or like most people, what the hell is this crypto coin? It's not real cash. And so what did the lawmakers do when stuff started heating up, when we found out about election stuff? They go, holy crap, I'm going to get my money out of there. All of these people that they paid off in those cryptocurrency went real quick and cashed them all in. So it literally sucked all the cash out of the room. So now they don't have the float to manage it. In that type of thing where the rats start seeing the ships starting to sink, which is what's really going on. The left is deathly afraid they're going to be found out. We now know they'll kill us, right? They'll give us a shot and kill us if they can. All of these rats that have participated in it are no longer willing to sit and wait because they see the writings on the wall and they're going to get caught. And when you have all the rats withdrawing their cash at the same time, nobody can cover the float and it crashes. Boom. And that's what you're seeing. And so you're seeing that a lot of it came out of Silicon Valley, and that's why they're doing it. They're all in on it. They're all pushing it. Well, when you have so many people in one geographic location or tied together because they're in technology, as they did a lot of these payoffs, they're going to go try to pull their cash out. And when they pulled their cash out, they can't manage the float. And so you got so much cash that they have to have in a reserve, and they got to be able to make enough on that money to always cover the cash in their bank of normal transactions. Well, what happened is with the economy going to hell and the cash going up, and with them raising the interest rates, which makes you're not making any money over here because it's costing you more, it kind of came up zero real quick. So now they can't cover the float. And when they can't cover the float, all of a sudden people aren't getting returns or aren't getting good deals, and they're just saying, screw this, I'm going to put my money somewhere else. And that's what went on, and that's what happened. Think about it this way. This current selected, not elected maladministration in Washington, D.C., that we all learned that our elections are really crooked in 2020. If you and I were CIA and we wanted to go crater a country, we would make inflation go through the roof, make prices go way up. We can agree prices have gone way up. Second thing is we do everything we could to create crises, a lot of little fires, to keep everybody distracted with crap so they wouldn't see what was going on, right? Be chaos everywhere. We're going through that. The last thing we would do to kill the country is, it's actually a third step in 4. The last thing we would do is we would try to get a hold of their cash. We would print it, right? Counterfeit money. We'd flood it into the market so it has no value. And all of a sudden, their dollar, their money's not worth anything. Well, compare that to what we have in Washington, D.C. right now. This administration that's been in 2 years and 3 months has printed more cash in 2 years and 3 months than all 100 years combined of the United States of America. Now, what's the fourth part of that? And that goes back to your question about J.P. Morgan. When you can implode it, And when everybody gets caught in this mess, assets, buildings, high-rises, apartments, your bank account, companies, there's always somebody who can walk in as a savior, says, we'll keep it from crashing, but now it's ours. And that's how they roll it all up under these big umbrellas. It's an intentional crash because it creates a housing and a land grab, and they end up owning major cities and major companies, and that's how it goes.
And then they'll tell you, oh, the taxpayer doesn't have to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. But really...
But you are.
But you are.
Right.
And correct me if I'm wrong. What the banks will do is they'll just up the fees. They'll up the personal fees, the business fees.
No free checking.
Yeah. It'll always be reflected to us. There is no money in circulation that didn't start with your own pocket. If we all stopped buying today, we stopped buying into this crap, right? We're just not going to do it. Screw you guys. You rolled up these companies, and I'm not buying from these companies. This would stop because all of those elites now have no transaction. See, and that's what they don't want you to know. We have the power. It's just the people can't understand they have the power. See, they don't operate without us. If our money is not being spent on their crap, they don't operate. It's just that simple. They don't operate. They need us. So they're never going to kill us. I don't believe that they're going to wipe us out to 500 million. I'm not there yet, right? Yeah. I believe they'll kill people like me. Absolutely. They've tried multiple times. But they got to do it slowly, and they still need you to make money. They still need you to buy things because they still need that revenue you're doing. They're just going to keep on taking more, keep on taking more, keep on taking more. The red flag should have been to most people when we used to have, we need to pass a $500 million deal for this. And then at Obama era, we need to pass $1 billion deal for this. What happened as soon as Joe Biden came in? We need to pass $1 trillion.
Everything.
Multiple trillion. There you go. That's the game. They are sucking us dry because that's the last part they do is just to break everything. And when everything goes to hell in a handbasket, what do people do? See, people always want a savior. They want somebody to come right in on a white horse and save them. Walk to your damn bathroom, look in the mirror. That's the only person that's going to save you. When you wake up and realize you're in the matrix and you're paying for this, and you get your crap together and say, screw you, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to pay into the system anymore by buying these things. When we take our power back, we'll win. But that's why they have to stifle free speech. They don't want you to learn that.
And they tried to kill you just because you're talking out. How'd they try to kill you?
Well, the first time...
it's
been 3 times. The first time was when I was testifying in Georgia for the Senate, where a lot of people, because I'm testifying there in Georgia, and it's Republicans and Democrats. And I found out that senators, and now I don't understand this because I'm a guy who likes truth, but when you tell a senator, sorry, Mr. Senator, you're full of shit. They don't like that. And I didn't make friends there. And so that night it was shooting into windows against a lot of us working in it. Then I got busted out by my local Starbucks where I lived during that time. And people that I never talked about who I was or what I did at Starbucks knew me because I'd love to sit at Starbucks, have my coffee, hang out. They outed me in a big Antifa area. So all of a sudden, my home starts getting attacked, and I have to move very quickly. The third time was at a big event, thousands of us there, General Flynn, a lot of different people. And in the green room for the event, a secondary food crew came in. I should have realized what was going on. But the secondary food crew came in. You put food in the green room and stuff. And they had hairnets on and masks and white lab coats, which I thought was really weird. Now, I'm standing at the end of the table, and one of the person in the group pulls out a little sprayer and sprays over the food. Now, I'm thinking, okay, what the hell are you doing spraying, hand disinfectant across the food? Are you an idiot? And I commented about it. And they scurried out of the room real quick. Come to find out, it was a weaponized version of, easiest way to say it is strep and yellow fever. Got several of us. Few died. I thought it was going to kill me, but I survived. Oh, and it took me out for a month and a half. It's been, what has it been now? year, 4 or 5 months. I still have some lingering issues, but they tried really hard.
Oh, I'm glad you're okay.
Shit.
So,
I mean, in relation to that, Dr. Robert Epstein was in, and we're sitting here talking, and he's like, yeah, you know, I testified in front of the Senate, and as I was walking out, it doesn't matter who he said to him. He said, be careful. They're going to try to kill you.
yes.
Okay. So he walks out, he leaves. He tells his wife, hey, go take my car to go get A, B, C, D, E. Car crashes. Wife passes away, unfortunately. They can't find the car. No investigation, no nothing. 9 months later,
Mexico.
they find the car in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 5 kids. And all the guy, you know who Dr. Epstein is. Just Google. Basically
Right.
say, Google, go fuck yourself. I have everything, and it's unbelievable. And nothing.
Well, you didn't pick up on it. Not that I don't trust you guys, but you saw how many times you wanted to give me a soda or a water or coffee, and I said, no, I brought my own.
I thought about it as he was saying that.
Yeah, don't
That's
worry.
exactly why I do
I get
that.
it.
No.
I now watch
Hey, you have to.
everything, everywhere, the whole bit. You cannot.
Yeah.
They will play to when I've had to move my adult children. They had to move to hide. It is the way it is. You finally get on the back side of it that you have so much momentum, they're not going to turn you into a martyr, so they'll kind of lay off. But when you have the real information or the mechanism, how it works, they will try to take you out. I had one of my tech companies ready to tee up to flip to a very large telecom company. And as soon as I came out, because I was exposing the truth about our elections and we got to fix them. And I said, I don't care. Republicans and Democrats both are doing it. We have a uniparty. But that tech deal, which was north of $70 million, vapored, gone.
Just disappeared.
Gone. All the way down to you couldn't even operate anymore. And all that's left is the patents. I became untouchable in some areas.
That's the thing I always talk about with my one friend. We talk politics a lot.
Hold on. Did he really admit he only has one friend? I am so sorry for you.
Too many.
I might have to.
And he's sitting right here, and you're not seeing it. He's got all these glasses here, but he's flipping the bird at you as you talk. But go ahead.
But we spoke about, I always say kind of what you just said, the uniparty.
Yep.
I do feel you have a lot of these big heads in Washington, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. You go down the list. On the Democratic side, you have Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. I think they sit there and they go, we don't like each other. We hate each other. Yeah, we caused this rift. We do this. And then they're at cocktail parties together, and they're hanging out because they're all benefiting off of each other. They're all making money, so they don't give a fuck what happens.
Well, it's worse than that. They're not at cocktail parties. They have their cocks in each other's tails.
Yes.
I mean, it's more incestuous than you can imagine. It's nuts. It's screwball.
And you talked about I was talking to my dad the other day. My dad's 83 years old.
Is that your one friend?
That's my
Okay.
my one dad, and and he's always one. He's very outspoken. He goes to the grocery store still and talks to everybody, and
Right.
he states his opinion how he feels. But he's talking to this one old lady. And it came into my head when you said this earlier. Lady was complaining about the egg prices. Oh, $5 for eggs. You know what my dad said to her? My dad said, "Leave the eggs fucking there. And if everybody left the eggs there, they're going to spoil, and eventually the prices will go down because when nobody's buying them, guess what?
Right.
They're gonna.
You have the power. That's what we forget.
Yep.
We have the power. Let me tell you the rig about Mitch McConnell. You weren't here. I did a big meme push on Twitter to get him. He wasn't going to fund a particular Republican in Arizona. Blake Masters. He was going to fund a Democrat. They do that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I did a hashtag. It was Stop Mitch the Bitch on Twitter, and we got him to reverse it. But let me tell you how this gig works. Mitch out of Kentucky. They have, and there's all kinds of rigs, all places. They have a thing called an open primary. Now, more people are tuned into elections now more than ever. A primary be, okay, here's all the candidates going to run for the Republicans. Here's all the candidates that are going to run for the Democrats. In most states, it's called a closed primary. If you're a Republican, you get to vote who your candidate is, and you prop them up, Democrat over here. In Mitch's state, and these states where we have those bad eggs, they're open primaries, which means You have the Republicans voting for Mitch, which they don't really do. The Democrats, because it's an open primary, come and vote for Mitch and put him in. And that's how they play this game in flyover states to keep their operatives in. It's called a open primary. It's a joke.
That is unbelievable.
And most people don't even know that.
No. I mean, how would you know that? If you're not in, how would you know that?
Well, you have to understand the definitions. It's all words. They tell you in elections, we did a risk-limiting audit. There was no fraud. Well, let's just take Georgia. We know there was a lot of crap in Georgia, right? Like Ruby, whatever, running these things. You saw that. So in 2018, they did a risk-limiting audit to make sure that the primary was run perfect. How many ballots did they look at?
10.
25.
Close.
Instead of millions, they looked at 25.
Yeah.
To tell. And then when it came to the debacle in 2020, when you have millions of votes, they looked at 250. How can you tell anything from 25 ballots? They also say we do a recount. Everything's about words. Mm-hmm. So they say, we did a recount and it matched. You know what a recount is? You think they're recounting the votes, right?
Yeah.
If there's 1 million ballots that come in the system, they count how many pieces of paper do they have. And if it comes back 1 million pieces of paper, because that's what they said voted, it's perfect. That's a recount. You think they're counting the votes. They never did count the votes. They only counted the piece of papers. It is all a sham to screw us. All of it.
And how do you fix that? Like 2024 is coming. Biden says he's running. And I mean, do you think he's actually
Well, I think
run?
he's shuffling.
He's dancing around.
He's shuffling. He's not running. I don't think he can.
If they shoot him with enough shit, maybe
he may. Okay. I'd be surprised truly if Biden can make it that far. I really am. I used to be worried that they were going to drop in Gruesome Newsom.
Oh, God.
They're not going to elevate Kamala. They're not going to elevate her.
No,
okay.
They'll hide her. Well, they
Right.
have hide her. This episode is brought to you by Fiji. More than just water.
This is not just rock. It's ancient volcanic rock that filters tropical rain, giving it double the electrolytes and its signature soft, smooth taste. It's not just water. It's Fiji water.
This episode is sponsored by Z-Biotics. What is Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic? The Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic is a genetically engineered probiotic you drink before drinking alcohol to avoid that rough next morning and get back to living your life. PhD scientists invented it because they know the real problem is not dehydration. It's a toxic byproduct of alcohol, and Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the only product that breaks it down. Just remember to drink responsibly and plenty of rest too. Every time I have Z-Biotics before drinking, I'm amazed at how good I feel the next day. Z-Biotics is a must-have for me because it means I'm still going to make my daily workout even if I have a few drinks the night before. That's important to me. You can get Z-Biotics for 15% off your first order using my code mscsmedia at checkout. I recommend getting the 6-pack. That's what I got. It's a great deal. You have a couple extra to share with friends. Go to zbiotics.com/mscsmedia. That's Z as in zebra, biotics, biotics.com/mscsmedia, or scan the QR code on the screen right now and get 15% off your first order. You will not be sorry. Link is in the description below.
I hear rumors that Michael's coming in to run. Michelle.
I know.
Yeah.
How long have I been saying that?
So I hear, well, that was the plan. The plan, Trump screwed it all up because we got off our butts and we did something to show we're it. We got off our butts and we voted for somebody that would fix the system. The plan was 2 years Obama, 2 years Hillary, 2 years Michelle. We'd be all over. We'd be all socialist. We do have time to fix this if we wake up. Now, there are people out there. You've heard Mike Lindell. I love him to death. Great patriot. Put almost $40 million of his own money in to fight this. His particular mantra is we're going to get rid of the voting machines and we're going to melt them into prison bars. That's great. But even if you and I could get rid of the machines today, there's still 21 million totally bogus people on our voter rolls. And when your states still do mail-in or they allow early voting, they're still going to do it without the machines. We have to go all the way back. So if we're really going to win this, we have to go back to the very file that drives it all. And that's 168 million, almost 169 million voter rolls. Remember this. The system is designed to have a piece of paper per voter, but they fight us not to look at the paper. So it's all about what you have on the voter rolls. All about what you have on the voter rolls. So if you don't clean the voter rolls, we're doomed. Because even if we could get rid of the machines and they do all mail-in, those illegal votes are still going to pour in and they're still going to win. So the only way to do it is we've got to quit tree trimming. We're all tree trimming, nonstop, cutting the leaves, but the freaking plant keeps on growing. We have to become root killers. And the root killing, that's how you kill the bad bush. You kill the freaking roots. We got to get to those voter rolls and we have to clean them up. We have to find all of the dead people, all of the illegal people, all the bad people on it. Give you an example. When illegals come into our country and they get caught, it's not that they're trying to run. I don't know why people think they're trying to sneak. That's not. They go, hey, give me my phone and my debit card, please, right? That's what's going on. Why? Because they get a $2,500 debit card. Most people don't know that. And they get a mobile phone.
I knew they got the phone, but not $2,500.
$2,500. And then they get $500 a month.
$500 a month, too?
Yes. And get
They
to
really
go,
want that vote.
what city do you want to go to? Oh, we want to control Minneapolis? We'll send you to Minneapolis. Now, here's what most people don't know about that. Number one, I'm a first-generation American. I have nothing from people wanting a better life. And America's it, right? But you got to do it legally. So when those people cross the border, a couple of things happen. Border Patrol rounds them up. They put them in an ICE detention center, and they basically make sure they don't have any whack disease. Most of the little girls are pregnant. Almost 90% of childbearing age females that come across, right? Pregnant.
90%?
90%. That's how they're doing anchor babies. Another interesting fact nobody wants to go, you know what they haven't found yet amongst those girls? That if you're transgendered, none of them are pregnant. They can't figure out why. But okay, anyway.
I wonder why.
Anyway, so you sign a piece of paper when you come across the border and they round you up. What they do is they get you to sign a piece of paper to swear you'll come back to court. I promise.
Yeah.
90% don't come back to court for obvious reasons. The second thing they do is you sign a piece of paper. They ask you, well, why'd you come to America? They say, I want to get a job. I want to work, have a better life. So they say, so you plan on working while you're here? And you go, yes. You sign a piece of paper to say, I promise to pay taxes if I get a job. And then what do? Right then and there, they give you a Social Security number. Now, when you go to DMV, the reason they got to have it in all these funky languages, it's not to be nice. It's so the person coming across the border can go straight to DMV, does not have to know the language, but they can drive a car. They will take a driver's license test, get a driver's license. They will ask for an ID. They hand them the Social Security card. The clerk at DMV instantly assumes you're a citizen. And what do? They combine motor voter. You're an instant registered voter.
So then even if you cleaned up the dead people, being that you can just walk through the border now and...
We can identify them all.
You can identify...
We can identify 100%. Our government, you're not going to like this one, but I'm going to tell you a deep, dark secret that how bad your government is. And this happened during the Obama time. I can show you one Social Security number in the United States, just one, that 10,000 people use that same Social Security number. Here's the racket. To thwart those of us who are investigators, right? You think of me as patent work, but you have to realize, really, I'm deep forensics because it's how I can come up with patents. I understand how to look at the landscape, what's needed, and do what I do. So it's all about deep research first. In the United States of America, this illegal part of what's going on is so hush-hush. Here's how it works. When those people sign and get that Social Security number and they go to work in America, well, there's tax being paid in. Are they filing tax returns?
Hell no.
That slush fund is $1.9 trillion.
Holy hell.
Off the books. It's held in a separate account because they can't really tell. They know they're not going to pay. And it's that almost $2 trillion slush fund that's still there that nobody talks about. And that's how they use a lot of this dark money against us. The next part of it is, it's so bad, this coup to take over America, and you can verify this yourself, that during the Obama administration, they unhooked your name from your Social Security number.
Really?
Yes. What they did is they hooked the Social Security number now to your employer ID. Here's how it works. And so when they're looking to see if somebody qualifies for something or an illegal, now when they ping that name, it's only looking, is there an employer associated with this person? And then it comes back and says, yeah, this social's good.
Boy, did they cover their track.
It has nothing to do. They unhooked every one of our names from our socials, and now it's only driven by your employer IDs to say if that's a valid social. And that's how they got around it, where you can't identify the people. It's that bad, folks. It's that bad.
Wow.
Now, and just for the record, ask him. I've been saying for a year, Michelle Obama's going to run.
Yes.
Because they did that test with Hillary. Remember, she came up with a couple commercials. That didn't work too
Right.
well. And I said, you watch. And everybody thought I was nuts. And I said, she's going to pop up. African-American woman. Everybody thinks Obama was so
She's
great.
a what? Why would you sit here and lie to me? Can't we have a frank discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. The woman, I think.
Well, I just want to make sure you do know that that's not a vagina. That's just it's an ugly vagina. You and I would call it a penis with a left hook with Peyronie's disease. But okay.
I think she's going to run. I think because I don't think they have anyone else if he keels over. And I think they'll do anything in the planet to stop Trump.
I think that's the plan.
And now they're coming with him with the Stormy Daniels shit. You know,
Again?
Again,
Again.
yeah. They're coming at him with that. So in 1 year, you have the border flooding in. You have all kinds. Just what you said in 30 minutes is unbelievable. Yeah. You're giving $89 billion to this person. I mean, that's just what we're finding out.
That's what we know now. It's even worse.
That's just what we know now. God knows what else there is.
You understand what happened, though. You have living proof. We are the weapon of mass correction. You have living proof. Here it is. Let's go back to 2015. Back then, the media told us, we're not biased. We're fair and balanced. We're equal. Total crap. All that happened is America realized something's not right with America. Why don't we just run this like a company? And Donald J. Trump came in saying the right thing that made sense, right? And America got off their ass and voted. See, this is our problem. We were apathetic. I tell people, I treated our ballot like a freaking lotto card. Hey, when it hits $1 billion, I'll play, meaning I'll vote for the president. I don't give a shit about this mayor or school board freaking member. That's beneath me. What they did is they placed all these people in over time, right? Well, all of a sudden you have somebody like Donald J. Trump that people can call out bullshit, right? And they don't attack you if you're one of the rat bastards. They're not going to say anything about you. So they attack him because they know it. Anyway, so we put Donald J. Trump in, and we have the most phenomenal economy we can have. Well, all of a sudden, all of this stuff, the unholy trinity, it's government, media, academia, they said, we can't let this happen anymore, right? And so they freaking activated, and they're doing everything they can to criminalize Donald Trump. They're doing everything they can to shut down free speech. Now, even though as crappy as that is, you should realize that means you're the formula to win. Mm-hmm. Because what did you do? You freaking woke up and you got off your ass. Now, the blessing. Now, I hate what happened in 2020, and I would have rather had Donald J. Trump get in. But a very good thing is I think it's a blessing he didn't get in. Because you know why? Think about how much damage they did in 4 years of trying to block everything he did. But think how much prosperity we had, right? A second term would have even been worse, and they would have more time to cook up even more evil things. They couldn't let it happen, so they unleashed mandates on us. They had to keep us from the polls. They did everything. He outed it. The enemy that's the most dangerous enemy is the one that you don't know is your enemy. When you don't know who's attacking you, you're vulnerable. When you do know, you face it head on. The worst friend you can have is the friend that looks to you in their eyes and tells you a friend, but behind your back is stabbing the shit in your back. We got a gift. Now it's up to us. What are we going to do with this gift? But we are the first generation in mankind ever to know what the fuck's going on.
do you think we have time to change it before the election?
Well, I think the American condition is people are freaking lazy and people are apathetic and people don't want to do it. I'm worried about that. They've trained us not to pay attention. Your audience is different because they'll listen to you 2 and 3 and 4 hours. You have the right kind of audience to activate warriors. People that just read 140 characters in Twitland, get the fuck out of here. You're not going to change a thing. You're part of the problem. But your audience that listens and pays attention, you're the warriors that can fix this. You just have to understand how it works. So when you realize that en masse we stood up and said, screw this, we're not dealing with it, and we got Trump in, you saw how the system vomited on itself and come out violently attacking. They're running scared. They know if we keep on waking up, they're freaking doomed. They are terrified of us. That's why they're willing to kill us. But if you understand you have 100% of the power, you control everything. And when you find your courage, just you, find your own courage, you have to understand courage is contagious. Now, you have all kinds of people out there. They'll say, well, I'm never going to vote again. My vote doesn't matter anyway. Okay. I have 2 things of advice. Fuck you. Go register as a Democrat and start learning Mandarin. Get your fucking lazy ass out of here. I don't give a shit about you, okay? Because you're going first. You're going to run out there. Please don't shoot me. And they're going to shoot your ass. I want warriors. 3% of the people that were alive during 1776, only 3%, 3 people out of 100 decided I'm going to fight to create our country and have it safe and sovereign, and we don't want to be under English rule. 3%. England at the time, the most powerful army in the world, the most well-trained army in the world, the most well-funded army in the world, and the biggest army in the world. And 3% of us ragtag people got out there and fought and kicked their ass and handed it to them and did this great experiment, which worked, which the whole world's at envy of. Only 3%. I'm only looking for those 3 out of 100 that are willing to say, fuck you. And when you learn to take your power back, even if it's small stuff, when you learn to take your power back, we win. A good example is CNN. CNN used to be a ratings juggernaut. Right now, CNN is very lucky. You will have, on this broadcast, you will probably have 4 times the viewers of a CNN primetime show. This one show right here. You know what the moral of the story is. Put on a sweating fat capitalist pig and your numbers go nuts. But you understand what I'm saying? Okay. You personally sit here and all of your programs and you personally hand CNN, MSNBC, and all of those rat bastards their ass. Your reach, just you, and what you do is larger than ABC, CBS, or NBC unless they have some special.
Thank you.
You kick their ass, but it's true. Yeah, no, but I'm telling you, and you're just one.
Yeah.
When you realize we're it, and if we activate and we talk and we group together and we focus what's on, we kick the dog shit out of them. But see, we're trained to think they're bigger than us. No, they're not. No, they're not. We're trained to think we need them. We don't fucking need them. And by the way, they're all falling off the charts. And the only thing that's keeping them alive right now is Big Pharma. Have you ever noticed all the sponsors for all the news shows? It's now Big Pharma. That's the only place they're getting money.
And they're still pushing the shot. I mean, we had Dr. Malone in here saying, do not, the guy who made it, do not take the fucking shot.
Absolutely.
And the guy who made it.
Right.
And he's been on, he was sitting here, he was on the news. The guy who fucking made it says, don't take it.
That's right.
And they're still pushing it.
Well, come on, you know what's going on. When they now are going to make it mandatory for school children. Right?
Yeah.
And then you think about the fact that where our food supply is being burned up. Hey, you know, when you and I were taking over that country and when we take their money and stuff, what's one of the other things we do? We burn down their food supply. We burn down their logistics. It's classic war, folks. It's going on all around us. And so now in Iowa, one plant had one chicken get bird flu. It's been around forever, by the way. One plant had one chicken had bird flu. They made them destroy all 5.9 million chickens.
Of course they did. Chicken prices will be through the roof.
And now they're going to start vaccinating all the chickens, and the mRNA is in those vaccines too. You're going to be eating it pretty soon.
And we'll never know about it.
Well, you'll know about it if you listen.
Change things.
If you listen.
Yeah.
I read a great article about, we always talk on here about masculinity and how it's being stripped away.
Right.
And, through the food supplies that we're eating and have been eating for who knows how many years now, male testosterone levels have gone down.
Right.
And we always talk about, what's his name? Sylvester Stallone. Back in the day, was a big proponent of HGH and how good it is for you, and they kept condemning him, and that's bad stuff, and it's steroids, and it's terrible for you. I don't know if you saw Sylvester Stallone recently, but he's almost 80 years old. He's jacked. He looks like he's 50.
Right.
In great shape. And they're pushing away from this HGH and all this stuff, but the stuff that we don't know that's in our food that's stripping our testosterone, it's being done purposely.
It is being done purposely.
And it's just like, when do we wake up as a people and realize this? And again, how you said, it's more podcasts, more people speaking and talking about these subjects. But that's a scary part.
We just have to talk about them. We're soy boys. You got to know your chemistry too. Like, do you actually understand the difference between like enzyme and hormones?
No, I don't.
Yeah. The hormones are in your blood. Enzymes, like your liver.
No.
Secrete.
When it comes to an enzyme, you can't hear it. But when it comes to a hormone, it's very easy to recognize.
Shit.
Listen, you've had some good ones today.
You got good sneak jokes.
I still like the Arizona tattoo. That's a good one.
Look, you have to break it up every now and then when we get too hard and technical. Because you know what? If we weren't laughing, we'd be fucking crying. Come on.
I like it.
I loved your expression when it dawned on.
Yeah, I got at first I was like, because I'm thinking medically, because like believe it or not, I look under like a microscope and shit.
There you go.
I was really looking at it.
Well, that only happens when you have to go to the restroom. Anyway, what else? Quit setting me up, dude. What are you doing? You're going to give me good material all day long.
Now, another thing. Okay,
he's losing his breath over there. He's trying to catch his breath. He's laughing so hard.
I told him when he wasn't here for the first one, I said, "You missed a hell of a guy."
Look, we're Top Gun. And here's what I mean by we're Top Gun. And I know you're waiting for a setup. It's not a joke. We're Top Gun. We are in the trenches. We're the freaking warriors. And so, yeah, we can give each other the shit. We give each other the shit because we like each other, right? And we know we're in the fight and we have respect for each other. We wouldn't be giving each other the shit if we didn't give a shit about each other. This is it. You are the front line of this. If you understood the fact with your millions of people that are following you, predominantly male, do you understand you're an army leader? Do you understand the power that you have if you just got the average male that's listening to your program to basically realize, fuck, I never realized I had the power. You personally, just you. If you took 2 million people listening to you and they basically said, I am never buying consumable products from Target and Walmart again. Did you know the 60-day effect later of that, if all of your 2 million did it, you would personally topple every single woke Wall Street investment term. Yep. That's how powerful your audience is. The question is, how do we get audience to activate? But that's the power you possess with the people you talk to. People have been robbed of their power. They don't realize they're it. You're it. You want to fix what's going on in the world. You don't like critical race theory. You don't like Black Lives Matter. You don't like teaching little boys to be little girls or little girls to be little boys. Then get your shit together and realize you can stop it. You stop it by controlling your 3 votes. There's only 3 votes in the world. The vote number 1 is the paper ballot. There are plenty of us working on that to get it fixed, and we're working our ass off and going to get it fixed. But there's 2 other votes you 100% control, and you don't need lawmakers to approve. See, for us to, like we got the audit in Arizona, I'm the only person in American history that has personally looked at 2.1 million ballots in a vote.
Jeez.
Okay?
And you're not blind?
Right? And
well, you did kind of make the QR code.
Yeah. Well, the other 2 votes you have, right? You have your paper vote, you have your I vote, and you have your money vote. So let me explain your I vote. There are 2 votes you have that you can control. Now, I just want you to understand, when I tell you have 3 votes, that doesn't mean you're a Democrat. I'm just talking about legal votes, okay? I want you to understand that. And I have nothing against the trans living. Those are voters that are dead that only identify as living. We're not going to talk about those. But you have 2 votes you can control. First is your eyeballs and your ear. This battleground, the battlefield that we're playing, all of us are playing on, is 1/2 an inch. That's it. It's the half an inch between your forehead. Now, looking at your fucking forehead might be 2 inches, but you know what I mean. It's one.
What are you going to do?
That's an East Coast thing, Tony. Yeah, but, right? It's a half an inch. It's to get into your brain. Now, you fully control that by where you spend your time to feed your brain. You're either getting truth or you're getting lied to. That's the only two choices out there. So when you turn away from MSNBC and CNN and you don't give them their eyes, you win. Now, when you take away your eyes and time from CNN, MSNBC, or Disney, what happens to them? They lose money hand over fist. That's your power. So you have total control over that. So everybody listening right now, you're making an investment to kick the shit out of these woke companies. The second one you have in that duo of two is your money. You have full control of what you do with your money. Why would you ever walk into your regular grocery store and buy one product if you knew that the investment company that controls it, in that consumer company that controls it, down to that product, that part of your money is going to be paid for having little boys' wieners cut off and turned wrong side out and their testicles? You know how they do it, right?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
How do they do it?
Okay.
So people know.
No, I'll tell you how you do it. I did a whole show on it. First off, let's talk about how they do little boys. By the way, part of your money goes to that. So control those two things, we win. Here's what they do to little boys.
And Jovan, this is when you buy from Amazon, Walmart,
or Target, primarily. Yeah, those are the three big ones that kick your butt.
And what's the alternative? You know, everybody's hooked on Amazon because it's so easy to go to. Bang, bang, bang.
The easiest thing to do is you've got to buy American-made, American products that are owned by American companies that don't fall to this stuff and don't sell out. I have a program called MakeWokeGoBroke.click. That's why I did it, MakeWokeGoBroke.click, that we teach people how to do this. It's the same products, good stuff. It's still going to come to your home, but you're going to kick this woke away and you're going to get a better product. But let's talk about what they do to little boys. First off, and this is going to hurt for guys. I'm just going to tell you it's going to hurt. Like when you see your buddy get nutted, you kind of synthetically feel the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh. Yeah. Okay, first thing they do is they debone Mr. Winky. Okay? So that little cartilage that, they take that out. Then what they do is from the meat that's there with the penis, they'll take the little, we'll just call it the pee-pee channel, right? They'll take it and they will extend it to the front. They'll kind of reverse where it is. Then the hot dog sleeve that Mr. Winky used to came in, they'll basically insert it into the body. So now it's an innie, not an outie.
Jeez.
Okay? And they'll put where the pee-pee can come right out at the synthetic vulva they build for you. Then they take your testicles, okay? And your testicles, they neuter you, right? So now you got two little pouches. And they take those testicles and they roll them on themselves like you're rolling up a doobie.
Oh, yeah.
Put a little pin tack in it, and they'll tack it up ahead of the little pee-pee spot and at the bottom to basically make what mimics a vulva. And now you have a Franken vagina, and that's what they do to the little boys. And they try to tell the little boys, okay, now you're a woman. That's what made you a woman. For the women, it's a little bit different. For the women, they will take her clitoris, right? And then you have, of course, the little pee-pee track. They'll separate them. They'll take the butterfly that you flick, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
they'll roll it to kind of make a head. They'll wrap it around where the urine will come out. Now you've got supposedly a penis head, no shaft, okay? Then what they'll do is they will extract that urinary tract, the tube. They'll pull it out to give you some measure of penis. They will take skin off your forearm, right? Okay. And I guess it's close. It's kind of like foreskin. It's just forearm skin, right? And they cut off, they peel you, and then they use that skin from the girl's arm and they create a little shaft, okay? Now they have two labia, two lips, right? And I guess if you have meat curtains, it's easier. But
I mean, why don't you just use one of those pumps from the porn?
What? But they take
Want to be quicker?
Yeah, they take the lips, and what they do for the lips on her labia is they hollow them out. So now you have a meat pouch, and they'll put in a fake testicle and put the drop to them, and then they'll stitch her up from her taint up and close it off. and now they've got what looks like a penis with what looks like testicles somewhat, and that's where they're called. And it's true. I've done a whole scientific show on it to show people how they do it. And that's a procedure. You know, before Obama, there were 2 of these facilities in the United States that did it. It was considered taboo. We now have thousands of these facilities, and in Obamacare, they pay for it.
They pay for it?
It's paid for now. In your healthcare, we're paying for these addictomies and all this other stuff.
And what about the health effects from having that done?
We hear that, well, I don't know. I would assume you could have problems. One, that's a lot of stitching in a lot of private area.
I think blood clots out the ass. I mean, right? I mean, you're
Well,
cutting
let me think about that for a minute.
that.
Blood clots out the ass.
Maybe not necessarily out the ass, but I think a lot of blood clots.
I think I've
holy
canceled my
shit.
lunch plans for today.
Well, I mean, come on.
yeah.
I saw this thing on YouTube, and it was a very feminine trans boy, right? A girl. And he's saying, why would you want a paper sack, referring to a regular woman's vagina, when you could have the bougie coochie? You ever seen this?
No.
Right? Says you could just have the bougie coochie. Why? It's like a purse. When you want the high-end purse that's manufactured nice, not the paper sack one. You're just afraid of bougie coochie. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I wanted some of that, I'd just finger my own damn belly button. I don't need to like push in your like any outie. Like, I mean, whoever sold people on this? Why is it even out in front? I don't give a shit what you do in your bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. It's none of our business. But to now have this out in front and center, and we have kindergarten and elementary school books teaching anal sex.
Well,
That's fucking insane.
That's the sick part about it. I always say that if you're 18 years old and you want to get tattoos and you want to do whatever you want to do to your body, be my guest. I don't judge that. Great. You want to be a woman, be a man, whatever you want to be.
Freaking A.
But a 5-year-old, that's basically child abuse to me, and they don't know. Like, do I want to? Sure, you want to be a man today? Yeah, you know what? I like to wear. You want to be a? Yeah, I like to wear high heels some days. Sure. Hell, I play with Barbie dolls as a kid. I
played with Barbie dolls. My sisters gave me makeup and shit. No. Tommy's eyes. I'm saying, hey.
I had He-Man. I can't hang with you guys.
But I can remember when my son wanted to be a dinosaur. Am I going to fucking get transplanted scales on him and claws? Come on.
Right. Pull up on tab 5 his Instagram. He's got some of the. I feel like I woke up one day and all of a sudden it's this woke shit. I kept hearing woke. I'm like, what in the fuck is woke? Woke this. Okay, and then you have this whole bathroom thing, and then you have men, women, whatever you want to call it, and men's sports. When that's just insane. That's just insane. You know, you can't do that. Then they're doing this shit. Then they're doing it to kids. So my question is, what's the benefit from it? What's the benefit from allowing
destroying society?
To destroy society.
That's it. This is one of the chaos things we're chasing. One of the chaos things we're worried about. We're scrambling because all these teachers on TikTok want to talk to our kids about their sex lives and have masturbation rooms and coming out rooms. They got us fighting all these fires while they take over our country. You know what the acronym of woke originally came from, right?
No.
Willingly overlooking known evil.
But what?
Woke.
How did it just pop up like a fighter jet? Like all of a sudden, bam!
If you wanted to introduce something new to this country that was a product, what do you have to do?
Rob.
What do you have to do?
Advertise it.
Would $89 billion help that?
Yeah, $89 billion.
Now you have your answer.
I see. That all
critical
goes
race
into
theory. Look, they took our money, they recycled it through the system.
Scroll down.
They paid. Oh God, I got to fix that. I got 6,666 posts. Oh, I better post real quick and change that number.
Yes. Anything you want me to click on here? You guys look. I love it.
That's my Twitter. I've been kicked off 2 or 3 times. What am I at? About 117,000 people or something like that right now? I don't know.
That's your Instagram there.
Oh, is that my Instagram? Yeah, Instagram's 93,000. I think Twitter's like 173,000. You can always find me / Jovan Pulitzer. Except Twitter, they've canceled me so much. I like this one right here. Go back one more. Click on left, right there. When employers want 10-year experience before you turn 20, that's what the right? I mean, come on, everything's kind of like upside down and stupid. We are a society. Look, here's what I tell people. You know, in the Middle East, they refer to America as the Great Satan. I don't know if you know that. And if you were in the Middle East, like during Saddam's time, they teach in grade school. They've been teaching it for decades. You wonder how they get so many people to kill themselves. When they've been teaching that America was stolen from Saddam's family, that they actually owned America and we stole it. That's a true thing. And that's also why they teach in Israel that Jews, mothers, will bleed kids and make matzah and stuff out of them. It's all for fear out there. All of this is ingrained into our society. All of this is working into these agendas to murder us all. And that's part of the story now. White capitalist, you're a white supremacist, you're racist if you don't have enough pigments. So let me ask you a question. With the Italian machoism you got in you, are you less racist than me because you have more melanin?
No.
It's the weirdest thing in the world, but we're buying it. And why are we buying it? Because they're advertising this crap out of it, and they're pushing it all on all of us. Why do we accept this? My thing is, when you see it on TV, run. Don't believe it.
Get off that TikTok. Off the
TikTok is
that's
some of the
shit.
wackest shit in the,
I've never
in the
seen,
world. You ever seen the little girl that believes she's a cat?
Yeah.
Right? And she has kittens.
I don't even go on it.
And she calls them. She gives her a call for when she wants to come help wipe her. Have you not seen that one?
She really does. It popped up. And the source code, people don't realize it downloads everything in your phone. It goes to a data bank that goes on the dark web, and then people buy it. Companies, everybody else. So if I want to sell this phone, I can go on the dark web from TikTok and many others, Instagram, the rest. I'm sure you know this, or you can explain it better than me. And it downloads everything you searched in your phone, your messages, your phone calls, and you can go, okay, I want 50,000 emails and phone numbers of people that look to buy the iPhone 15 in the last 30 days. Then you send an email, like an email campaign, a phone number, you give them a call. Hey, we have this because in the last 30 days, these 50,000 people or however many have searched to buy a phone, like clicked on buy, put it in the cart, but maybe didn't buy it. And then they even guarantee it 30% results.
Holy smoke. Did you know this on your phone, that they could do that stuff? You really heard this before?
Yeah, I've heard it before. Yeah.
How do you think they reply when they see that duct tape and hamster site you went to?
Well, I get the hamster commercials all the time on my Facebook.
But Jovan, you know what the thing is? No matter what you say to them and what you tell them how bad it is, they say, well, that's not going to happen to me. What do you mean it's not?
It's already happened to you.
Yeah.
Like,
are you kidding?
You're going in a data bank every time you go. Why do you think you go on eBay? Why do you think you go on Amazon and you have a pop-up of what you looked at 3 weeks ago?
That's right. It's all tracked. It's all tracked back to you. It's this one big intelligence engine that is one thing trying to reflect back to you what it thinks your interests are, and then it also trying to sway your interest for things that they want you interested in.
And then you have celebrities falling into this little kid stuff, Dwayne Wade's kid. I mean, that's not good.
I gold to my ear, I'm a Jew, it's not a hidden thing. Gold to my ear said, when...
You guys always have money.
Do you know why us Jews have such big noses?
No.
The true thing. Do you know this? Because air is free. Anyway.
How much you got saved up that nose somewhere?
Do you know what we sing for Christmas, right? We always gather around the cash register and sing, "Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus." Anyway.
It's South Philly. In South Philly.
Do you know why that happened?
No.
Look, that you were just making fun of it, but I'll tell you something. First off, most people don't know that the conquistadors, all of them were Jews. Most people don't know that.
No.
When the crown came in and started conquering and taking over lands, and you weren't the approved Roman Catholic or the Catholic at the time, they literally would take everything from you. All your wealth, all your riches. And Jews were historically wealthy. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And so if you wanted to make your wealth back as a Jew, you would be willing to risk your life for the crown. So they'd outfit you with a ship, and they'd let you go exploring for gold. And most people don't know about most of because they have Spanish names. You're called a converso. You're not using your real name. They give you Spanish names and everything in the title, and you go conquer for the king and queen and take the gold and bring it back, and you got to keep it. It's how a lot of Jews got their money back. But let's go back in time. The only reason Jews statistically have more money is a direct result of people reading theology the wrong way. And way back when, it was said that you can't lend money and expect interest. That was considered usury, okay? You couldn't touch a dead body, right? And so if you just look at those two things, it is those two things that took Jewish people that were outside those Christian laws that said, okay, we'll do that. So what did Jews become? Doctors and bankers, because they would lend the money, right? And could make an interest on it, which is only fair. And so way back in time, Jewish became doctors and lawyers. And that's exactly how it happened. There's nothing sinister to it. It's just, look, you got to have somebody to do it. Right? You got to have somebody work with the dead bodies or bury the dead bodies or look at the bodies. You got to have somebody do it to lend the money that somebody needs money. Well, I'll lend the money. Just give me a little. And that's how Jews predominantly came, doctors and lawyers, and it's just compounded over hundreds and hundreds of years. Here it is. What I don't like is Jews that, number one, don't just love and adore America. I can't understand that. I can't understand why they're Democrats. I can't understand why they're not patriotic, because you're turning your back. You're turning your back on your great country. Jews are repeating something that's horribly wrong that we've done before. Jews did not stand up to Adolf Hitler until 66% of us were already killed. That's too freaking late. And here we are as Jews as a whole, think you got to be kumbaya, we got to get along with everybody, got to have us worry about what you think about me. Horse shit. And so they got their heads ducked in the sand and just want to be non-confrontational, want to be nice, want to be liked. We're losing it again. What does it take? They want to lose 66% of America before you freaking wake up? No go.
This reminds me of let's just use North Korea, for example. They'll starve you to death. Where you're eating bugs, it's protein. You only have one channel if you even have.
Did you know that Kim Jong-un doesn't poo?
Doesn't he poo?
No.
Well, was he too busy on the rocket?
No. This is a true story. Remember me telling you about Saddam and Iran and stuff? They teach in North Korea that Kim Jong-un and his family are so divine they don't poo.
What the?
True story.
Jesus.
Wow.
True story.
Well, it seems like we're going in that direction where, they don't feed you. There's nothing to eat. If you're rich, you're rich. If you marry, how are they? You can't ever marry up. So if your great-great-great-grandfather was a poor man, you cannot marry a person who has money. You're poor forever. So they starve you so that you don't look any other direction.
That's right.
So all you're worried about is eating and surviving. You're in a survival tactic.
That's right.
To me, this is the beginning of that, where here's TikTok for 15 seconds. Here's this distraction. Here's this. You need a check? Here you go right now. And yeah, it's a check and you're not starving to death, but it's so that, these guys are great. Sure, fuck whatever they're doing.
It's why they stopped teaching history.
And art. And
it's why they tear down statues with Civil War. It's doomed to repeat it. Why do we not teach our children cursive anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do you know why?
I don't.
Think about it for a minute. What's the one thing that if you were going to look it up and read it is absolutely in cursive?
A signature.
No. Forget signature. If you were going to look at a document and you wanted to get information, you wanted to learn, and you were going to look at something in cursive, what would it be?
Declaration of Independence?
There you go.
Son of a bitch.
There you go. All of our founding documents are in cursive. All of our historical documents are in cursive. If you can't read cursive, you can't read the founding documents.
Wow.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
And why would they take wood shop out? Because they don't want men to be men.
They don't want you to be self-sufficient. I tell people, look at Yahoo on any given day. you will see all kinds of things about polygamy, a dude with 4 or 5 wives. Now, that one I support, right? I would go for 10 or 15, but that's me. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it's little girls making big money as fans only now. And they run the crap out of, those are stories. They're prepping us. We're falling. People are going to have to start consolidating families. Women are going to gravitate only to the guy they support. If that means he has 2 or 3 chicks, so be it. Little girls are going to have to start prostituting, and that's why porn's okay and this is okay. You're just a sex worker. All they are prepping us for what's coming.
Because there's not going to be any other choice.
There's not going to be any other choice. And that's why they got rid of wood shop and they got rid of auto mechanics and everything else that should be there, right?
And if you don't have money to send your kid to private school,
you're over.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done for.
You're done. That's exactly how they did it. And our colleges and universities participated in it.
Yeah, and they're slowly all getting there. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I listened to it. It was great. Everybody should listen. Go to tab 4. When you were talking about how embedded we are with China.
Yes.
Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. But when Trump was in, I think he kind of had a pretty strong hold on him, a strong hold on Putin, Kim Jong-un. I didn't see all this shit going on. This podcast is brought to you by Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver a big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, has a smooth, easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, co-eds, road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Monster Energy is more than just the green OG. Monster has Monster Ultra, Juice Monster, Monster Hydro, Rehab Monster, Dragon Tea, Monster Max, Muscle Monster, and many more. Buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, or go to monsterenergy.com and believe me, you'll find a place. Unleash the beast. Monster Energy.
It was going on, but he was attacking it the way you have to attack it, and you have to attack it with a trade imbalance. Most people don't know
this one here.
Yeah, most people don't know what a trade imbalance is. So you got United States and China. If China wants to bring in $100 billion worth of goods to Walmart, then America wants to sell to China $100 billion something back. That's trade, right? You want it to be equal and fair. We'll support as much as your trade, you support our trade. But we have this huge trade imbalance. And that basically means, we send stuff to China, but China is sending 100 times more of their stuff to us. Secondly, they'll high tax our items coming in, right? And they don't want taxes on them. So they've been manipulating behind the scenes. Well, what happened is China has gotten into our system. So let me give you an example. Do you remember when drones came out? Like the Dragonfly?
Yep.
Remember those drones, right? Really cool, fly around. And then people started making them. Drones are an American-made product. So we invented them, did them. And then all of a sudden you saw this legislation. Well, it can fly in a pilot's eyes and it can fly where a pilot is. We've got to regulate it, right? So every single drone became subject to regulation. That's number one. The second thing is they said, if you're going to fly these things, if you're a real estate agent or we're going to fly them, you technically have to have a license now, okay? What people don't know that what happened to that industry of American drones is all of the manufacturing went to China. They make all the parts. By the way, they make the parts for our drones for our military.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. Second part, when you
there's not a chip in there, right?
It is. It talks back. When you get your drone's license to fly, you know where the center is that monitors your flights? In Beijing. That license comes out of Beijing, and you have to file a flight plan. Now, we use drones very successfully in the United States to monitor our power lines. Drones changed the power industry because we could fly the power lines, and you can monitor where there's energy links, or you could look and see without putting a man up there, right? All of that telemetry goes back to China. They know our entire electrical grid down to the 1/8 of an inch. They know every road that goes into it. And by the way, if they really wanted to do this, they could just drop a chain across the power lines and take us all out. And then, I'll show you how it connects, those big transducers that carry that grid in all these major cities, They outlawed manufacturing of them in the United States because they do have hazardous materials in them. Good for the environment. One-eyed lesbian licking toad will die if you do it. Who makes it? China. You know how long it takes to get one of those transformers in? 3 years. They already have us in many, many, many ways. All of your doorbell devices, most people don't know, all of them go through China.
And when it comes to the drones, I fly a drone for real estate purposes. But you know, DJI, big Chinese company, both have been apparently bought out by an American company, they say. And when you're flying, it's recording your flight track.
That's right.
It's seeing where you're going. It's taking all that information. And I'm just aimlessly flying over beach homes and homes.
That's
by
right.
Water. But guess what?
You're mapping the U.S. for
They're
them.
mapping the U.S. for China.
It's in everything. I can take you like on our railway system, and you'll see little boxes along railways, and it usually has a guy in it, and they're monitoring all of the systems electronically. Now, technically, there should only be 3 people that are seeing that traffic, right, at any one time. But you can go to those stations to help do security stuff, and you'll find 76 people on that hub. Now, it's the supervisors and the 2 people there doing it. Where are the other 73?
China.
So you'll have them deuce the password, send out an email, reducing the password, get rid of it. You won't get the 73 requests saying, hey, why'd you cut off my password? Because it's all China. They're on every infrastructure thing we have, even ships, even all of our ships and trade coming in.
Why would we allow this?
Because what America did is when we pushed manufacturing overseas for the sake of getting it faster and better and cheaper, we gave our sovereignty up. China knew what it was doing. You can go on, right? Let's talk about Bitcoin miners, right? Not what I do, not what I'm into, but you pay $7,000 for some special video card that does it. You'll look online, and this is how Americans are trained. You'll look online and you'll see that, RTX card or whatever you need, and it's going to be $6,000. But right next to it in the ads, you'll see one, and it's going to be $4,500, and it looks exactly identical, right? And you think, well, I'm buying that one. The Chinese government subsidizes that. You take that cheaper card because it's one of theirs. You put it in your machine. You're doing all of your transactions. It's got a back hook into it. They're watching everything you do. They already control hundreds of millions of computers, and you don't even know it. Why? Because you've been trained. Well, I want to get it cheaper. And that's what you're doing. They are subsidizing those manufacturers and cards to get that hook into your home and watch everything.
And the government, whoever would be responsible, they don't stop that because of why.
Every general knows this.
They got to be losing their mind. Real generals got to be losing their mind.
There's a fight going on behind the scenes that I can't tell you a lot about because it's classified. But I can tell you all of this was known during the Obama years. Every bit of it's being shared, that we've compromised ourselves, and this is how we're compromised. And during the Obama administration, they chose to ignore it, did nothing about it. Even generals knew, but you're expecting generals to be savvy on tech and what happens. But when they're told by the Pentagon and other places that's no big deal, it can't really happen, they go. It's just like your electors. They don't freaking know how these voting machines work. And it was all undone during the Obama era, all of our critical infrastructure. I can show you how they can go into a building, to a reactor plant, next door, into a building, go into a thermostat, be right there within 50 feet of the reactor and can see the opening and jump through a thermostat, like right there on your wall. Is that a Honeywell?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Right there.
They can go right in there.
Right in there to get into the reactors. They go in, they turn up, they take out control, make all the monitoring stations look like everything's cool, kind of like a loop on a spy movie, turn up the reactors, exit right out the building and go. And I've watched them level a street.
Man,
right there, hanging on your wall.
They don't even need a military.
No more. Military's over.
Done.
They're not going to send 10 million Japanese fellows here or Chinese fellows here to fight. It's not going to happen. It's right there.
That's unbelievable.
Right. So, like when I came in and when I was getting the serial numbers off of that and the cameras, so you understand how that works.
The funny thing, not funny, I guess, thing about all this is, I always bring my dad up in these conversations on the podcast. My dad's 83 years old, hates technology, old school. He says you go to the grocery store, they don't even know how to give you change back. The girls can't count. Give her a 20. It was $9.99. What's my change? They have no clue unless the computer tells them.
Right.
But he's been years against. You talk about Walmart. You talk about Target. I could hear my dad right now talking in my ear. You went to Walmart and did what? You never stop at a store like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's all about supporting the local guy. Because I don't care if I have to pay an extra $2 for something. It's supporting the local community person. But I just think about some stuff, and I'm like, man, my dad's been like well ahead of this curve for so many years with all the shit that you're talking about, with what people should be looking out for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't get brainwashed.
Well, he didn't. And plus, too, he has the old flip phone. I make fun of him all the time. Like, Dad, that phone has just even worked. Just phone calls. I don't want that shit, that other stuff. They know how to track it. He doesn't. I wish he knew how to get onto Spotify so he could watch this podcast or listen to it. He'll never be able to listen to it because he's not going to do it. But it's just thinking from that realm, that 83-year-old mind. He's experienced so much stuff in his life and seen the changes. And we're just so fast to just accept everything. A new app's pushed out tomorrow. Everybody's downloading it. They don't know what it's doing, but they're like, I got to download it.
Right,
I got to download the app.
Well, when everybody did that app to see what you look like 50 years in the future,
Yep.
all you did was facial ID yourself for the Chinese.
Correct.
Yep.
The number one app right now that accesses your bank account is what?
I'm afraid to know.
I hope it's a TikTok. What is it?
Mm-mm.
What's worse than TikTok?
Your flashlight feature on your mobile phone.
Get the hell out of here. Now, how does that work?
What?
Yeah.
If anybody knows.
Your flashlight app.
Your flashlight app that you download to turn your thing into the app is the gateway to your banking devices. Because it not only connects the soft data, but it connects it to the hard equipment, and now it's in. Because it has to be able to turn up that light. It's the number one backdoor app.
Wait, so break that down for everybody again. I got to hear that again.
Wow.
Well, the reality is, if you can plug it in, it can be taken over. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that our mobile phones, people just don't understand this, our mobile phones are 100,000 times more advanced than the actual computer that enabled us to walk on the moon and do the Apollo. The weapon you have to fight this war is your very own phone. Anytime there are certain kinds of apps, anytime you do anything to get information, it can send information back. But when you use apps, I want to accelerate my phone. I want to make my little flashlight, where you're giving them access to your hardware. Now you're permanently wiring them into where you save places that only you can see in your hardware that aren't tied to other programs. It allows it to circulate in there the whole time.
But why the light? Why the light? Why is the light the big one?
It is the most unsecure loop right now that's stealing information
because
from
it's so unsecure,
and because it's so pervasive.
Do you think there would be a time going with the banking and all that type of stuff? My dad, hear him in my head, yelling at me, carry cash. I don't carry cash. Everything's done with my card. And he's in this assumption that there's going to be one day you're going to wake up and all that glorious money that you have that's in a bank and it says your numbers and your bank account on your card is magically going to go poof, and you don't have it anymore.
It's in bills in 23 states right now. I published it yesterday. 23 states are now writing it into their state laws. I published it yesterday. You should follow me. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But 23 states are now writing it into their state laws and constitution. They have redefined money. And the only digital storage wallet and money you can have is government-approved, their digital money. It will not recognize any of the else. It's going on right now. And yes, we're probably, if we don't fix 2024, then it's done. Yes, your accounts will go and they'll be digital.
And that's what they want.
That's exactly what they want.
And for people watching,
and they're trying, hang on, everything's training wheels. They looked at how much people cared about the banks telling them you can't think that way. Well, what was that? Bank of America closing General Flynn's account, or PayPal saying you can't go for the truckers, fuck you. That was a measurement device to see how hard people will push back.
What about the $600 Venmo thing?
All of it.
All of it.
All of that.
This is set up.
All of this is set up to get those transactions down right? You used to could go in the bank with $10,000 cash, and as long as you were 10,000 or less, it wasn't reported, right? It just goes in. No, they're moving it all down because it's all going to digital, and the threshold they've decided is that $600. That's it. Look, it's already being done. Unless you wake up and you fight back, physically fight back, not bitch back, fight back and get involved.
You have to.
We will never be able to stop this. Every bit of it is happening. When you saw Give, Send, Go, or any of these other ones, PayPal cutting off accounts, that was all a national test of the emergency fuck you system to see how much people would push back. And that's why they all did them in staggers, because they're just getting you used to it. That's all they're doing, getting you used to. Well, they cut off my cash because I was supporting the truckers. All they're doing is massaging and crapping in your cranium.
Easing it
in. So when it really happens to the nationals, they fuck, that's just the way it is. I can't fight it.
How do you get, though, you have your big time, your YouTubes and those of the world, the Googles and all that stuff. How do you, if you say something and they don't like what you just said, guess what? Boom, boom, you're kicked off. Mm-hmm. No one hears it. No one sees it. How do you get that message out there to the masses right now in the society that we live in?
What we're participating in it right now. We're all talking about it, and we're putting it out there on each other's channels. That's number one. Number two, you have to be on every platform. After 2020, when people say, fuck Twitter, or get off Twitter, or Facebook, I'm not doing it supporting Zuckerberg, that was a psychological operation because they took 10 million Americans and they put them on patriot.patriot. I'm a fucking patriot.com, right? Well, what do? You sucked all of those millions out who got rid of all their social media and went to these little bitty tiny places to talk in a fucking echo chamber. All they did, people thought they were doing the right thing. They carved you out. We have to save lives. I don't give a rat ass about you, and I don't give a rat's ass about you because, see, your head's already in the game. You know who I care about? I want that 18-year-old who's been brainwashed and is finally going, holy shit, I never knew. Well, we can't save lives and enlist warriors into this digital army if we can't reach them. That's why we have to be on every single platform we can be, every way we can be. We do have to be on TikTok, unfortunately, right? We do have to be on every one of them so we can reach people because all we're trying to do is get them through our front door. And if we can get them through our front door, if you can train them from 20 seconds or 30 seconds on TikTok, and let's say if you got, 20,000 people on TikTok and you get 1,000 people over here that get hooked on your great content and spend 3 hours with you, you can change lives. You know what we don't know? I always say this about abortion. How many Einsteins have we killed?
A lot.
Right?
A lot.
How many of the one person that was going to make sure none of this happened did we kill? It's the same thing when it comes to reaching out to people on social media. One of these days, you're going to reach some kid that's got millions of followers and just thinks it's about stupid posting his lunch or a pooch in his pocket or whatever it is. And they're going to wake up and go, holy shit, I don't want this to go down. And they're going to become a warrior. That's who you're going to reach. All of us are responsible. We're going to reach somebody that's going to make the difference in the world. And I tell all these young people out there that are influencers and stuff, I said, let me tell you the story about the Mark Zuckerberg of Venezuela. Have you ever heard of the Mark Zuckerberg of Venezuela? Have you heard this story?
Mm-mm.
It's because they're not fucking one.
Well, I guess that's
because it's Venezuela.
I'm thinking on my head of my house. It's even possible. But
it's because you can't do what we do here.
Yeah.
We live in the greatest country in the world. If you can think it, you can do it. And right now, we're still, if you can think it, you can do it. But we have to break free of this system. Look, my mom was a drug-addicted prostitute. I was a welfare baby. I got rescued by the church as a toddler, living under the porch with my two sisters as my mother turned tricks. My mother died of AIDS. There is no logical reason that I should be here and I should do what I do. The only difference is because I'm dumb as shit. And here's how I mean it. I am just stupid enough to believe that I can fucking change it. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else says. And that's the only secret to success. We are the only country in the world that if you want to do it, you can do it. There is no freaking obstacle. I can remember I became a dad at 17. Now that proves I'm from a small town. But I became a dad at 17. I can remember fucking, what am I going to do? Am I going to not pay car insurance this month or the car bill this month so we have formula or diapers? I was making $242 every 2 weeks. Every 2 fucking weeks, right?
Gross.
Net. Yeah, it was net.
Net, at least
But,
it was net.
and I can remember, you know, McDonald's would have a throwback special like 10-cent Big Macs. And I always had this plan. I'm going to take $5. I'm going to buy those Big Macs. I'm going to put them in the fucking freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never made them to the fucking freezer. Ate them. But it was a great idea. I can remember being so stressed out that I'm thinking, how do I get out of this? I don't want to be my dad. I don't want it to be what my family is. And we all know that we're different somewhere. Every one of the common denominator has, we think there was something different of us, and you just have to find that different. It got so bad in my life as a young father that I was having massive panic attacks. Massive panic attacks, man. My heart would fucking just beat through my chest. I would swear I was having a heart attack. I even went to the emergency room several times. Even had a doctor who fucked me up. I went to the emergency room. He can see my heart's racing. He puts me on a fucking treadmill. Can't control his emotions when he sees it. He goes, "Oh, fuck, get him off that." Well, all he did was scare the fuck out of me. He scared me. I fucking left the hospital.
You already had fucking anxiety, for Christ's sake. Like,
so you know what I did? I said, fuck this. I'm getting out of here. I didn't want to hear what he was going to tell me I was going to die. That was my life. I was swearing every moment of the day, and I was trying to make it, and I was going to die. And I can remember the night. I'm laying in bed, and it's just out of control. And I was 19. Maybe I was 18. I was 18. And what I said to myself is I said, fuck it. If I'm going to die, fuck it. Okay, I'm going to die. And you know what happened? I went to sleep, and I slept all night, and it was the best fucking sleep I had. Now, something dawned on me. And what dawned on me was, fuck, all of the stuff I had was in my head. Mm-hmm. And my head was kicking my ass. Manifesting systems and everything. So I started doing a little research into it, and this is how long ago it was. So I took what little money I had, and I went to Radio Shack, and I bought 2 tape recorders and some tapes. That's right when 90-minute tapes came out. You were still like in your dad's nutsack, but right? And so I bought long tapes. And I learned the process of we are what we think. It's a true phenomenon. I can remember the first time I had it, when I understood this phenomenon, you are what you most ardently think about. Now, my first reaction is go, fuck, I'm going to turn into a hot woman. But that didn't happen. But
if it would have been now, who the hell knows?
I'd have been in, right?
Yeah, you can still do it.
And so I realized...
You want us to make you an appointment?
You can still do it. You're still good. You can live your dreams still.
Right. And so I realized that we're a computer, whether we like it or not. We are a computer. Let your electrolytes go whack, you're going to whack out, get bad program. You're going to stick some bad program in your body, wrong drugs, you're going to fucking whack out. We're computers. And so when I realized this, and I read some obscure book about psychosomatic processing and training, and I realized what was going on in my head was psychosomatic. So here's what I did. I learned the secret, and I'm going to give you my secret, because this is the secret of everything I've been able to do since then. You can study my work in 164 universities around the globe. I'm the only person that my software and patents are on every single mobile device in the world. That means I am as large as Android and iPhones combined, because I'm on each platform, 15 billion devices.
Thank you for coming, by the way, in person.
Sure. No. This is it.
I mean, you're only a little guy, you know. You didn't really do much, you know. Thanks for your time.
But look at there.
Yeah, you made that.
So Here's what I did.
By the way, that was the QR code. If you would like to see that, watch the other episode. I just didn't want to bore him again with the same questions. He made the fucking QR code.
I learned that. I made all the barcodes on your everything talk, your phone work, and do that. QR codes, barcodes, USB, and IC, and that's one of my big patents. But here's what I did.
Just real quick, I want to blow up your... Do you realize that this guy sitting here made the QR code? Everything we fucking scanned today and everything else, him?
There were only barcodes out there that didn't do anything. It was inventory in and inventory out. All I realized, it's a number. And what's every website? A number. They just put a word over it so we can remember the word because it's too hard to remember the number. I said, if we're all fucking numbers, then that number can go somewhere. And I just turned it into a transit system. But anyway.
Amazing. Sorry to interrupt.
I realized it's a mindset. And I learned the secret to the mindset. And if it's all about you and you are what makes it work, here's what I did. I wrote my script. Okay? Now, for a few things. When you write your script, you can't write, my dick is huge, my dick is huge. That doesn't work.
It doesn't come true?
No, that doesn't come true, right? Okay, so, and anybody that's listening, you want to change your life? I'm going to tell you this. Our planet is 76% water. Our bodies are 76% water. Do you have the ability to show a screen? Look up messages in water. I'm going to give you the secret to life right here that made me, the one thing that made me. Look up messages on water, messages in water by Professor Emoto.
While he's looking that up, I had anxiety real bad too.
I can fix it for you. I can fix it for you.
I'm okay now, but I kind of...
No, you're not.
Okay. Well, because I drink faster. Yeah.
Where'd they go?
There's one left.
Okay, hang on. No,
I'm on the bad side.
Hang on. Go to images. Don't go to Google. Go to images in your browser. Click on images. Okay. Hang on. Go to the right. We'll just use right there. Click it and pop it up on the screen. Expand the image. One more click. Right click, open a new tab. Okay, now go to that tab. Scroll down. Okay, use that right there. Now, Professor Emoto, I got to know him before he passed. His experiments, and I'm going to teach you, this is the secret to life. I'm telling you right now. He would take a droplet of water, one little tiny micro drop of water, and he would drop it through a container that was like 3,000 below zero. And so when water is in its liquid form, it freezes, it becomes solid form, and he'd take picture of the water. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you see it says compassion. You see how beautiful it is? Mm-hmm. You see where it says thank you, how beautiful it is? Wisdom, right? You fool, I will kill you, heavy metal. Now, here's the secret. That's the same drop of water. He took the most polluted water, and all he did on that bottle was on the label. He wrote compassion, or he wrote a prayer, or he made it listen to music, or he wrote shit on it. All he changed was the label on the outside of the bottle. That is the same drop of water. Wow. Now, when you remember our planet is 76% water, our lives, our blood, our brains are 76% water. Do you think our body sends our brain and body fucking messages? Is your water in your body slime, nasty programming like that, or good programming?
I think it's what your mind thinks is what it is.
There you go. So now I'm going to tell you how to do this. Here's the secret, folks. Take a piece of paper. Write what you want your life to be. Now, here's things that don't work. You can't say, I want to be a bigger influencer than Tony. You can't do shit like that. You got to have realistic. People like me. I do good business. I attract good business deals. I attract money, right? You write it in your tense. It's about you. You do not write, I want to, or I wish I could. You write things like, and this was mine, I am great at business. I close big business deals. Money is attracted to me. That was my first thing. So I wrote all this down. Now, the reason I bought 2 tape recorders was I recorded myself saying those things. And I didn't say, I want to be rich. No. You write it as if it already has. And I recorded it into that recorder. And then we have technology now to do this, but back then I would record it to a second recorder. Now I got that much of the tape done, and I would record. And what I did is I looped it, and I made a slow pay 6-hour tape. And it was me talking to me about what my life I wanted. And every night when I went to bed, under my pillow, that recorder played. And I listened to me telling me what I really was. And that is all I did. That is it. I'm telling you, that is the whole secret to my success. And it was a ritual in my life for 2 years, right? And I started moving up through the ranks and doing good things and having courage and stuff. And as the courage got better, my ability to ask for the big deals got better. And then as I got in the room with deal makers and stuff, I learned valuable lessons. Like I asked the guy one time to sign a $20 million contract. And he agreed. And I handed him the contract, and I handed him a big pen. And he took the pen and hit me right between the fucking eyes with it.
I bet he did.
Did he fucking sign it, though?
And he said, don't you ever ask a man to sign a multi-million-dollar contract with a fucking 20-cent pen. And he reached into his desk, and he got out a pair of gold cross pens. Remember cross pens long before Mont Blanc? And he signed with it and gave it to me. And I learned simple things. Like my first big purchase at that time, I'm just trying to come through it. I knew my mind was there, but the rest of me wasn't there. So I went to Neiman Marcus and I got a credit card. And I bought one suit. And it was only a $350 suit, but it was like at 80% off. That's why I got it to $350. 2 shirts, 2 ties, and shoes. And that was a big deal for me then. That was a big fucking deal. But when I walked through that door, the truths that I could give people in business, I wasn't reflecting them in how I was handling myself. And as soon as I started reflecting it, my fucking world changed. Now, that's a little bit of fake it till you make it, but it's true.
Yeah.
You dress yourself. How I built $1 billion company from scratch, I did different than everybody else that was doing in Silicon Valley at the time. All of my geeks and everybody's in floppy T-shirts. I put everybody in khakis and team shirts and had them ironed, did their laundry and everything. And everybody had this upgraded whatever. We didn't walk in as fucking slouches. We walked in as the best of the best, and we got the deals. So, guys, girls, anybody listening, you want to change your life? I'm going to tell you how to change your life. When you understand that photo, I've just proven to you that the water in your system is a transit system. It is your programming, your God-given programming. You look at those pictures for a moto, you're shit in, shit out. Right? Good in, good out, just like computer programming. A computer program is only bad if it's shit in, shit out, right? And so what you need to do, if you want to change your life, if you don't like what's going on, you don't like the life you live, first off, you have to visualize the life you want. And so you sit down with a piece of paper and you write everything you want in life realistically. You're not going to write, I want $50 million in the bank. You may write, I want to make $100,000 a year, hypothetically, right? I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to have great opportunities come my way. And you're right. Great opportunities seek me out. See, I'm reversing it. Mm-hmm. So first off, you write everything you want. And then the way I used to do is I take the piece of paper and I draw a line down the center and you fold it in half. On the left, you write everything you want. On the right, you write all the shit that's your shit. The shit that's bad about you. Like most people, I can piss off because I'm too direct and I move too fast. So I know that's a handicap. And so I would write over there, people really like me, which is not true. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to understand your good and your deficit. So once you list those out on the left, everything you want to have and everything that's your deficit, then you write a script. It's a book report, a very, very simple story about your life. And you start off with, every day my life's getting better. Every day opportunities coming my way. Every day bigger and bigger deals find me. People really dig my shit. You know what I'm saying? So you write this script. And then what you do is record that script. Just like it's an acting job. Record that script truthfully to yourself. Now record it. It may be 2 minutes. It may be 5 minutes. And then take that script, okay, and clone it to about 2 hours. On every third or fourth one, go find you some classical Baroque music, because Baroque goes to a channel of your brain, and give it a good sound bed. Now you've got this 2-hour soundtrack. Even if you don't listen to classical, it doesn't matter. Put it in the bed. And then every day while you're sitting at your desk or doing your work, listen to that tape. Don't listen to the fucking radio. Don't listen to your rapper shit. Listen to you programming you. And do that and change it every 2 weeks. Change it up. Add things, get better at it. And you will rewrite your programming, I guarantee you. And you will write exactly what your life will become. Because a few things happen. You have to convince your brain first you can do it. All of us have shit parents. Oh, you can't do that shit. What the fuck? You're never going to. Look at us. We're just a hardcore working family. What the fuck makes you think you're so special? You follow? I have one of those families. Oh, that's just fucking dreaming. Everything begins with dreaming. So write your programming and begin programming it, because the steps are when you realize what you need and you realize what you're bad at and you start focusing on a change it to good and you program it in your head, you can't help but act it out. It becomes a psychosomatic process. What you put in is what starts coming out. And that's what you put in and starts coming out. And you listen to that. I'm talking, you might listen to it 8 hours a day. But when you're not doing it or you're sitting with the kids or whatever, even letting it play on the lowest of lows, your body will get it. And you will take that programming I showed you of every water molecule, blood molecule, cell in your body that's driven off water, and they will start believing it, and you will start radiating, and you will change your life. But don't put stupid shit in there. I want to be the biggest social media. That's horseshit. It's got to be realistic. And then you just start upgrading it. As things upgrading, I want to be able to make enough in my side gig to pay my car payment, or I want to pay my house payment, or I want to get a better job that pays me what I'm worth. Well, see, it's you giving yourself courage, telling you, you will evolve. Just take control of your life. It is truly that simple. Now, look, I never read a single book when I was a kid. Never. My family didn't believe in it. My parents didn't take me to doctor at the hospital. My dad, I love my dad tremendously, but he was fucking married 12 times. Phew. Seriously. I told my dad, don't you think you can fuck a woman without marrying her?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And he said, that was my dad's hang up. The first books I ever got in my life, because my family didn't have them. They never checked my school grades. I was an athlete, so it was never worried about. Now I'm going to tell you the shit show, so you understand, and I only tell you this so you understand you can overcome anything. So here's the deal. My mother was a prostitute. I have 2 sisters that are older than me. Back in the 60s, it was unheard of for a dad to get kids. It just didn't happen, but you can imagine how bad my mom was if he got 3 of us and I was still a tiny toddler.
I should go in the Guinness World Record.
Right? And my dad, God bless his soul, but he was still hung up on woman. One of those women in my dad's life to get back at my father sold my oldest sister to 2 guys.
Jeez.
They kidnapped her from school in the 3rd grade. I can remember vividly standing at the front door. I'd wait for her to come home. I wasn't even school age yet. I was 4. She was in the 3rd grade. They took her. She was gone until she was 16. We were lucky we got her back. So my life was locked down. You didn't go out in the fucking street. You didn't make friends because everything becomes fear-based then, right? So my life was just total fucking shit. My dad was the type of dad that was an iron hand discipline. So he was the type of dad that our lives were locked down in fear, and which causes my father to overreact, causes us to lock down, not have social skills. When you don't have social skills, you get to school, you end up getting in trouble at school because you're trying to talk to all the kids because you didn't get to have any friends at home. You get labeled as a troublemaker, right? I get to the 5th grade. I used to walk to school. I had a shit stepmother at that time, horrible stepmother, but I used to walk to school. And there was this little girl that lived up the street. Her name was Sherry Proctor. And she would even get out when she had like 6 brothers and sisters. She'd even get out of their car so she could walk with me, my great friend in 1st grade. And so we were great friends, 1st grade, whatever. And when we get to 5th grade, I'm still learning to adapt socially and everything else because my family was just so suppressive. And my dad was the kind of guy, if you got bad grades, He'd march your ass up in front of the teacher and spank your ass in front of the teacher. You think I'm kidding. I'm not. To say, you better get these grades, and if you get bad grades, I'm going to spank your ass. So these teachers knew about it. So I have horrible suppression at home, horrible stepmothers in and out, the worst of the worst of the worst. Attention problems in school. I get to the 5th grade. Sherry Proctor dies. Right at the beginning of school. My 5th grade teacher, Miss Rodriguez, basically said, Joe, I grew up being called Joe. I'll take you to the funeral if you want to go. So she took me to the funeral because she knew Sherry and I were real close. We get to the funeral. She pulls me behind the curtain where the casket is and opens the casket, and there's Sherry. But it didn't look like Sherry, right? She was all bloated and yellow. It was just like weird, horrible. She closed the casket. They had a closed casket thing. She takes me home. I go home. My parents aren't there. And you're supposed to go in the house and stay. But when I'm coming around the back of the house, we come in, I look up in the bathroom, and I see Sherry in that dead state in my dad's bathroom window. So it scares the fuck out of me. Mm-hmm. So what do? I run across the street to my buddy's house. And I stay over there till my folks get home several hours later. So they pull up. I'm coming home. I'm trying to explain. My dad got pissed and beat the fuck out of me because I didn't follow the rules. That was the dad I had. But I love my dad, okay? I go to school the next day. That was a Thursday. I go to school the next day, and the teacher, she called me in at recess. And she says, I know you probably have questions why Sherry died. And I go, yeah. And she goes, I want to let you know that Sherry died because she didn't keep clean. Now, that's all she said to me. Now, my little boy head, who fucking spent rolling around in the dirt all damn day, all I could think is, oh, fuck, I'm going to die. I didn't know. Right? I didn't know you could
take
die.
A shower.
Right? Right? So she just all she said was, Sherry died because she didn't keep clean. That's all she said. And then she sent me out to recess. I didn't play. I didn't do anything. I'm like looking around and go, holy fuck, what's going to kill me, right? I go home over the weekend. Didn't play in the backyard, didn't play in the mud pit, my treehouse, or anything like that, right? Because I was fucking afraid. I mean, dirt can kill you. Go back to school Monday. She held me into recess, and she says, I can tell something's bugging you. What's up? And I go, well, what do you mean Sherry died because she didn't keep clean? And here's what she said to me. Would you like me to check and see if you're clean? I said, of course. And then she said, okay, pull down your pants.
Jeez.
Now, I pulled down my pants. You couldn't wear shorts in schools in those days. And she says, and I remember, she says, no, I mean your underwear. Now, my brain remembers hearing it. But this is my teacher who I trusted. So I went ahead and pulled down my underwear, and I couldn't even look at her, and I turned my head away because it's in shame. And I can feel her breath right on my genitals. And all I remember saying was, you're okay for now, and I'll keep an eye on it. And I went out to recess. The next day she called me, and it accelerated. My entire 5th grade year, I never got to go out to recess from that moment on until the last day of school. And I remember going out, and we were going to play baseball, and last day of school, everybody's playing games, and Johnny Gutierrez, buddy of mine, I'm finally out. He says, no, you can't play with us. And I go, why? And they go, you're a troublemaker. You have to stay in from resource every day. Well, what was going on is her and a male teacher were raping me every single day of my 5th grade year. I couldn't tell my dad.
Because he'd beat your ass.
He'd beat my ass. I remember getting up out of class one day. I was finally pissed. I mean, come on, let's just call it what it is. I'm hiding my underwear when I get home. I'm throwing away because they're bloody.
Man.
And then I'm getting my ass beat by my stepmother because my underwear ended up missing, right? The home life was for shit. I remember one day I got up out of class and I stormed out. And when I think back now, I can remember my teacher's eyes panic. And I'm going down. I said, I'm telling Mr. Machuca, the principal, I'm telling on you. And I get pretty close to the stairs. And what she said to stop me was, okay, then you'll fail every class. And it stopped me in my fucking tracks.
Because you're thinking, I'll get my ass kicked.
I will get my ass totally beat. She knew how to, and that was the dysfunction family. Now, only reason I tell you that, and I give you that, is I am the epitome of I should not fucking be here.
Right.
But the greatest thing I ever gave myself is to find out who I really was and tap the greatness that was given to us. Now, whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. But we're told we're made in the image of God. Now, does that mean he's incredibly good looking like me and kind of an average guy like you? No, that doesn't mean that. Right? Doesn't even mean he's a dude or a woman. Here's what it means. We are given the ability to either create or destroy. It's that simple. We have godlike powers to create and do greatness, or godlike powers to destroy and be a fucking scourge on the earth. And you have to decide what you're going to be, what side you're going to play on. And light and darkness is always there. There's always a battle for light and dark. And the better you get at fighting for the light, the more the fucking dark wants to take you down and set you up. They will fight for your soul because they don't want winners for light. And so I was lucky enough to survive all that crap. I was lucky enough to stumble upon coaches and teachers that did care for me and showed me at least a little bit of way until I learned that secret. And that secret was nothing holds you back but you, not your parents, not where you come from. Well, I have to admit my mom passed on being a whore to me, but outside of that.
In the younger days, maybe not a bad thing.
Right. No, not at all. But no, it affected me into my adult life, right? No. I marry a woman because she can suck the chrome off a trailer hitch, right? Now,
I'm paying for it.
Right?
Now.
Did it have any other value in my life? Not a fucking value in my life. I didn't know how to value things. But the moral of the story is we are not where we come from. And we are also not the situation we were born into. And you're not ever in the situation you're in now, and you're not ever final. You can recreate, redo anytime you want. I don't care if you're 80 years old, you can reinvent yourself and change course direction. When you learn the secret, that all goes back to we're a machine, just a different type of machine. We all have programming, and we're only as good as our programming. And if you want to be a fine-tuned running machine, it's not just about being fit for your body if you can. It is about literally programming your machine for greatness. And if you take yourself seriously and you're willing to take the steps, I just gave you the formula, you will reprogram yourself for greatness. Bottom line, it's just the way it works. And then you also have to understand that as mere humans, sometimes we don't know what's good for us. You ever heard the thing about thank God for unanswered prayers? Yep. Think about that fine piece of ash you like. She finally says, screw you. She leaves. God, don't let her go. God, I can't live without her. And now you look back and adult go, fuck it, I'm glad that prayer wasn't answered. Right? We're broken. We're broken. But you got to understand, everything in society trains us to not be great anymore. We're told never bite off more than you can chew. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question. How do you fucking know what you can chew until you've bit it off and tried to chew it? Don't talk to strangers. Where would you be in your life if you didn't talk to strangers? Right? Now, my family was fucked up. My family said, don't talk to strangers unless they offer you candy first.
Oh,
that's even better, right? Yeah, maybe
don't take a ride from strangers unless they offer you a lot of candy. No, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not programmed anymore to be daring and to be out there. Trust yourself. Program yourself. And realize, I'm going to tell you the big bomb right now. We are the first generation in the history of mankind that can see everything clearly. Right? Think back to when JFK got shot. And they're watching it on TV, and they tell you it was Lee Harvey Oswald, and everybody goes, that fucking Russian Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, right.
We didn't know any different.
Right.
And that's the only place we got our news. Today, we get our news everywhere. What are we saying? These guys are fucking rat bastards, right? In ancient times, when your society was overthrown, all of a sudden the Romans showed up on your doorstep, said, your land's ours. You said, fuck you. They just cut your head off. We are the first society ever in history to be aware and have knowledge at our fingertips to be able to make our own decisions in real time. We're it. Now, I want you to understand the power that comes with it. If you believe that God works miracles, which I do, whatever God you pray to, okay? Have you ever run a marathon?
No, but I run every day.
Okay. Have you ever run a marathon?
Hell no.
Okay. Have you ever run a foot race?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever lost?
A lot.
You ever won?
Once.
Okay. Have you ever run a race and won? Right.
Yeah.
I think what people don't realize is you already won.
What do you mean you already won?
Well, you have to understand that you personally, every person listening to this has already run a marathon against either 500,000 participants or 2 million participants. And you didn't know it. Did you know you raced against 500,000 people?
I did not know that.
It's called sperm. And what happened in your very first race in life, the very first obstacle that was put out there, you either ran against 500,000 possible other humans or 2 million, or less like me, 20 million sperm in my count, but that's another story. But you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You ran against millions and didn't realize it. And you know what? You fucking won. And you are fucking here. Now, for some reason, God decided for you, in all the infinite combinations, to be here at this time in human history.
That's a good way to look at it.
That's a really good way to look at it.
At this time in human history, God decided you are one of these people that is going to save mankind. Here's what I believe is going on. In the past, God talked through prophets and whatever, few people, few men, few women, they went around. I believe for the first time in history that God's talking to every one of us. He's telling us this is fucked up. But see, we have that one thing that all humans have, and that's called free will. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting back, looking at all of us to decide, do these guys deserve it? If you won't defend yourself, do I? If you won't save yourself, who will? If you won't fight back, who will? And so I'm telling everybody, we are living in the most historic time any human has ever lived. Nobody wants to see their country going down at all for any reason, but we're here. We're seeing it. We know it. But at the same time things are happening, we now know what evil is. We know how they do it. We know it's the politicians are shit. We know they're fucking raping us, taking our money, doing shit. We know it. We're the only mankind and womankind in history that has ever had that gift. You never heard it before because the government didn't let you read, didn't let you hear it or control the airways. But even with as much as they suppress us, look how much we still get through. This is the most important time of the continuation of humankind and freedom. And you're here. And when you realize that you've been chosen to be here, one of those choices you have to make is you are fucking sitting on the sidelines waiting for them to show up and lop your head off, or you're a fucking warrior in it. And I'm telling people, wake up, you're a warrior. You have far more power than you can ever imagine because they need every one of us because we are what feed and fund the system.
And how do you get that through that thick skull that's just completely brainwashed, that will not put down that phone for anything, that won't, they get an award for everything. Let's just say the younger kids coming up, everybody gets an award because it has to be fair and balanced. You can't, if you're a coach, if you're a teacher, if you're trying to teach somebody something at a job and you curse them out, which I don't think there's anything, me personally, I think if somebody fucks up, you like, hey, look, you fucking asshole. If you want to keep your job, pull your fucking pants up and get it right tomorrow, or that's it.
Right.
Now you say that, you could catch a case. Really.
Right. That's
you could get assault or who the hell knows what.
That's right.
So when you can't do that, like he talks about his dad, my grandfather, he was a nut. I mean, a nut. But every Sunday I was outside with snow cones selling them and shit like that.
Right.
Otherwise, I didn't get anything.
Right.
No, nothing. If you do that now, it's child abuse.
That's right.
So the younger generation coming up, like we got to get people that can vote now that are actually alive. Right, to go in the right direction. But beyond that, you have the next generation that they're seeing this, am I a guy? Am I a girl? I'm woke. I'm this. I'm that. It's okay. And then they're locked into these fucking TV shows.
That's right.
These I can't stand them. Like what are some of these ones called?
Desperate Housewives.
Like just mindless.
You mean
shit.
like the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Like the Kardashians?
Nice faces, but that's a bit too much ass for me.
Yeah. I think Kris Jenner. Oof, I don't know, man. Everybody walks into that place, comes out fucking nuts. I mean, they're all in the loony bin. Yep. But how do you switch all that, because they're just pushing it down their throat?
Well, first off, you need to understand, what did you just describe? You described the weapons of war they used to get us here. You can't say it anymore. You can't do it anymore. They're telling you that's bad. They own your mind. See, I don't care. What somebody going to cancel me? How can you fucking cancel me? Fuck you, right? How can you cancel me? When you have your eyes on it and see it for what it is, then you're able to move in it in a way that you can deal with it. I tend to deal with it by mocking their ass.
That's a good
right?
way to do it.
You offend somebody. I'm sorry, dude. Oh, wait. Miss, zay, I'm sorry. Right? And I just fucking eviscerate them with it. I just mock them. One thing they cannot stand is being mocked, right? Now, when it comes to a corporate standpoint, in a corporation, you have hundreds or thousands of employees. At the upper levels, you can't dress down people like that anymore because you'll have suits. But if you truly trust your management team, those people won't be in your office to begin with. In one office, I had an attrition event where I got a few to leave, but here's how I got them to leave. I'm standing in the break room with one of my healthcare companies, and there's a bunch of people in there, and this guy is talking about that he got on the side of the road and zoomed down that last mile and a half before the bridge and turned. Right? And he was bragging about it. You know what I'm talking about, side of traffic. And I said, interesting. I said, I want to let you know, if I'd have seen that, I would have fired you. What? I'm not reprimanding him. I'm saying, if I'd have seen it, I would have fired you. And one of the other little girls goes, oh, geez, why would you fire him? This, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I'm only just using this as a teaching moment. And here's what people don't think about. I said, so let's say you dodged right and you're zooming down that, and somebody pulls out, small car, kids in, you hit them, you kill them. Well, number one, you're going to be in the fault. But let me give you what you don't think about. Let's say that happened. But then they find out you work for me and you're on your way into the office. A smart attorney is going to twist it. You have to be in. You have to be a hurry. He forced it on you, right? I said, pretty soon it's going to become about me. And then they're going to be all over me. And I said, so therefore, inadvertently, when you're thinking about yourself, you could do something that could then in turn jeopardize the company, me, my family, etc. And you have to be aware of that when you're in that work environment. And I said, so yeah, if I'd have seen it, I would have fired you. The other little girl, well, you can't fire him for that. And I said, I want to let you know that we're a right to work state. And she says, what does that mean? I said, in this particular state, I can fire you for any reason. Like, I could fire you for that ugly dress you're wearing. And it's not against the law. This is called a right to work state. And you probably didn't know you're in a right to work state. So you can be fired for anything, even stuff that has nothing to do with your job. And I went back and said, but I also want to let you know, I'm just giving you a teaching lesson how to think through it linearly. Now, was I bitching them out? No. Was it just a conversation they were having and I added, right? I just explained a scenario to them. That's it. But they both attrited on their own because they realized in their wokeness, I don't want to work for a guy like that. And so what happened in having a very simple conversation like that?
She quit.
They quit. And you let them do that. Now, could I fire somebody for being woke? You don't want to do that. HR will be all over you. Can an HR who's woke fire you for being a conservative? Yeah, they support that shit all day long. You just have to be very smart with how you deal with it, right? How you deal with it. Come on. We're dealing with a culture right now that is so fucked up that if you're a trans woman, they sell you, ready for this, underwear with a little special pocket in it. And you know what goes in that special pocket? A little frozen tube of tomato juice so you can have your period as it thaws.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Man.
Right? You just have to realize we lived in a whack world. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about this stuff. This is a battle tactic. When you realize it's stuff to get you distracted, to keep you from focusing on how do we save the United States of America and the credible republic. We do not have a democracy. We have a republic. Big difference. To save our republic and get yourself educated, take care of yourself. And you know what? Get greedy. Worry only about yourself and your family. If you start worrying about yourself and your family and stop worrying about everybody else and do stuff to make sure you're taking care of yourself and your family, we will win. And you realize when you see these people that are woke and stuff, don't get pissed anymore. Realize they're a fucking puppet, ignorant fucking puppets, right? And when you realize that guy on TV that's getting all the accolades because he got his face chiseled and looks like a girl and whatever, when he's 70 fucking years old and he has prostate cancer but still wants to be treated like a woman where there's no prostate treatment, the fucking joke's on him. Okay? It's just the way it is.
And sooner or later, hopefully it goes our way, all these doctors doing these surgeries, there should be lawsuits to the end of time.
Well, we already know that the suicides among transition people's higher. And I think it's Norway. Norway just for the very first time outlawed all transitions and all gender studies because they believe it's toxic and hurting society.
Good for them. See,
it's going to keep on going. This is a battle tactic. Yeah. You got to understand why. Look, we got Obama and Michael in. All of a sudden, we got restrooms that anybody could use. And then we get into the third term of Obama called Biden. And they start putting it out. They're just trying to reflect their society to us, what they want. It's a moment in time. That's all it is, a moment in fucking time. It's going to go out like bell bottoms, right? Just some of these people are going to have flippy flaps they hate from butchering their bodies. But people have butchered their bodies all the time, whether it be a haircut or whatever. It happens, right? It happens. Don't worry about that. When you see those people, you should see there's a dumb motherfucker that's low on the coal list, right? And thank God that you can now call it out and see it for what it is. Don't worry about them. Just work to save yourself and America and stay right focused on track and doing good, and you will excel. But they want us to worry about all of them. They want us to see every one of them. But that's why they're in schools. That's why they now say the baby was born transgender. Let's see. Before they could talk and say, Papa, my penis is a vagina, you could tell the baby was transgendered. This is psychological warfare. On that, I'll end it with one story for you. Do you know that we've always engaged in psychological warfare? You know that, right?
Always.
What we do, what did the Allies and Americans do in World War II, way before Normandy and everything else when it was getting bad? Do you know the psychological warfare game we played back then? Mm-mm. We took bombers and we loaded the cargo holes with condoms.
With condoms?
With condoms. Okay? With condoms. And in those condoms, our American military intentionally had massive condoms made. I'm talking donkey condoms, right? I'm talking big. If you've ever seen a horse's penis,
I got at my house. I have a few of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, Rob?
I tried to make.
But we're talking big old Donkey Kong condoms, and they packaged them up, and they put on the size in multiple languages, American average. And they went over all of these fields, and they just dropped condoms.
The fuck?
All of those people fighting in the trenches and finding these condoms and stuff, all those other ones were looking at that thing, and they go, great, a condom. When they opened it up, and it's fucking 2.5 feet long, wow. It psychologically fucked with their head. Oh, fuck, and when the Americans get here, what the fuck's going to happen if that's an average condom? True story.
Wow.
True story. And that was one of our big psychological warfare during World War II.
Again, with the mind.
That's right.
It all goes back to the mind.
All with the mind. Well, they say the mind's the biggest sex organ of all. It's true. Right? You can fuck with people's heads. It's a lot of why Muhammad Ali was so great. He would just constantly fuck with their heads. Everything's completely different than when you're pissed. Not standing there getting punched. He's dancing around you, mocking your fucking ass the whole time.
But I think that's, again, why what's the position that we're in right now is because the other side, or whatever you want to call it, whoever it is, has gotten to the mind at a young age.
You better believe it.
And got that mind trained. Because it's easier to train a young kid, right, to do something that's bad, that's bad, that's bad.
That's right.
They know that's bad now. They're not going to do it, even though it may not be bad. Or, that's
they're
good,
training
that's
soldiers.
good, that's good.
That's why you have all these teachers on TikTok. You're right. Yep. Why we have all these lesbian, gay, transgendered teachers, and they're doing it. That's the war. But see it what it is for. It's not that it's fucked up. You're seeing the enemy's battle plan. Mm-hmm. All that has happened is we now see it. The most dangerous enemy is the one you can't see. What has happened is we're becoming so aware and we're outing it. They're having to push harder to defeat us. And in their pushing to defeat us, we now see more and more and more. It's why Biden has these coinky fucking dink twinks on in our military dresses and shit. Remember I said earlier, the Middle East teaches us that America's the great Satan? What do you fucking think when they hold up our generals of health and military and their dudes in dresses? They truly believe we're the fucking great Satan. Now, you know why they do that? Because most all nations, except for Germany, maybe Denmark and a few others, most of them are far more conservative than us, especially Latin countries and stuff, far more down to their principles. So when they're doing this stuff and putting it out there, that is also a global psychological operation. They're trying to tell the world, what? We're not worth saving. Look what they're putting out. Look what they're putting out in movies. Look what they're putting out in TVs. Look what their own generals are. They're Sodom and Gomorrah. That is the psychological operation they're running on our allies that won't stand for this stuff. Why? Because they want them to sit back and let America go down. I'm not helping that shit. America is the great Satan. It's all a massive war.
Pull up tab 6. Now, with the Ukraine and Russia, now they've been fighting forever about this, and we're sending tens of trillions of dollars. And am I right that this is another money laundering scheme with all that?
Yep.
I mean, how many times has NATO gone over there and talked to him and said, no, you got nukes here, you're fucking with kids over there with the adrenaline, and we're still sending billions and billions.
Yeah, it's 100. We may be up to right at 100 billion. They're asking for another 21. Here's what you need to know. Let's look at it for real. Did you know there's no embedded reporters in this Ukraine war?
What I know, Jovan, is for a while there, all you saw was Ukraine, Russia. It was on the news all the time.
But that's headlines.
That's headlines. And then all of a sudden, nothing.
Well, you need to understand, in all wars we've had in embedded reporters. This particular war they tell you is going, there are no embedded reporters.
That's true.
It's because nothing's going on. Also, you have this telling they're getting blow up, but yet they're going to have one of the big NATO conferences there in a few weeks. You fucking go to a war core country that's getting blown up having that. It's all psychological warfare. Literally, Ukraine has always been the money launderer. 4 of our elected officials have children that run either telco or operations over there. Do you think that's a coincidence? No, it's always where they laundered money. Zelensky, you know he was a pop star, right?
Yeah, wasn't he an actor?
Yeah, he was a pop star, a gay pop group.
Yeah.
Literally, right? He was an actor. They propped him up and put him in. Remember, the first guy said, I'm going to rat on the United States. Well, they got him out. They popped Zelensky in. He's only part of the puppet. That's where the United States is laundering the most money. So they've tried to convince you there's a war there and we've got to give money. All they're doing is draining what they can while they can.
And what's Russia doing?
See, I don't really think Russia's the bad guy.
I don't think so either.
I know Putin is a nationalist just like Trump. He cares about his country. He cares about doing good business. Fucking leave me alone. I don't want any of this crap there. He's trying to protect his interests. If you go back and look at the war in Ukraine, which I don't believe is a war, if you look at Ukraine, look at the first 100 places they hit. The first 100 places they hit weren't in the cities. They were all outlying areas that had what? A chemical weapons plant.
A chemical weapons plant, and that were known to do the adrenaline thing.
And he blew them all up.
And they blew them all up, but they wanted to make it seem like he's killing citizens.
I'm not convinced. A lot of people I'm not convinced Putin's a bad guy.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Putin wants to take us over. That's why it looks like our administration blew up the Nord pipeline. You know, it's all a game, and Putin doesn't go for that shit.
No.
Now, there can be a lot of bad things said about Putin, and we were all taught when we were kids, Russia, Russia, Russia. No, it's our government. I think it's all psychological warfare, and they're laundering money, trying to get out as much as they can, as fast as they can before they're found out and all the war crimes they're doing.
And why we're even involved, I have no idea. Because,
to launder money.
To launder money.
That's it.
But this has
money.
been going on forever and ever and ever, and Putin's got to be like, what the fuck? Like, just open a hit, like launder through somebody else, but they're the biggest launderer.
That's it. That's it.
And then you want to bash Putin, like you said. I don't have a problem.
I don't
Putin.
look. I have not come down that Putin's a bad guy yet. Could he be our enemy? Yes.
Sure. Wow.
Now, if we've got the total pussified, transgendered government like we have, he's going to run all over us. You have Trump.
Right.
It's not going to happen. I think predominantly Putin just wants to be left alone.
That's what I think too. And tell us about the Jovan Pulitzer community. So log in there.
Yeah, this is, if you go to jovanhuttonpulitzer.locals.com. So I'm everywhere. I'm on Twitter and Twitch and Rumble and everywhere else. But I have a community at Locals.
Log in there, Rob.
And the reason I have a...
Log in. There you go.
The reason I have a community at Locals is the one place where I can give you the hardcore information. I name names. I tell you the politicians are bad. I tell you where the money's going. This is the stuff I get banned for on Facebook or Twitter. So I walk a very fine line on what I talk about on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But on Locals, I tell you what it is. Like if you were to look at that one right there with the Chinese balloon, long before the government came out with it, when it was still a third across the United States, I showed you every single missile silo they were mapping, every nuke base they were mapping, how they were going back and forth, and this was intelligence operation. Last week, the government finally came out and admitted it. This is where I can tell you what's going on and not have to worry about getting banned. And so that's the people at Locals are hardcore followers that you just want the true facts, unadulterated. You're not going to get banned for it. And I give you behind the scenes. I tell you the politicians that are rat bastards. Here's the names. Here's what they're doing. I can't do that on regular open social media.
With that balloon that they shot down that was up there for 10 years, 11 years, the China one, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How in the fuck could they not see that up there for 10 years?
Well, they've been running them all the time. It's course across America. This first off, there's always these balloons going around. What happened in this last run was it went on a measured trajectory across America for a period of 10 days, mapping everything, right? So they've always been out there, but they basically turned it on America this time. And I showed people with upper wind currents, lower wind currents. I showed you how it was planned. What they did is they flew over every one of our missile silos in the United States of America. That particular drone and equipment could see down into the silos to see if there was a Patriot missile or whatever sitting there. You can't see it any other way. You can't even tell that by satellite. And our government, this Biden administration, allowed it. And so they now know every one of those silos that are filled or not filled. They scanned all of our nuke armament buildings where we manufacture, plus all of our munition plants. They know exactly what our stockpiles are now.
And what do you think? Pull up the Rumble, it's the very next one. And what do you think of all of a sudden these UFO sightings, this, that, the tic-tac-toe, the going into the ocean? I go back and forth with it all the time. Weinstein, is it a UFO? Why don't they let the physicists study it at all? Not one physicist has actually gotten the material that they have. One guy says they have it as clear as day, but you can't have it. So you're seeing like the dots and the fuzzy, but they have, 8K, blah, 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 blah. What do you think that is? Or is it another distraction? Is it that they don't want the people to know? They don't want people. They think people can't handle it.
No. All that's going on right now is we have to pay attention to saving our country. They just don't want Americans to become aware that your own government's the bad guy. That's really the only thing we should focus on. Our own government's the bad guy trying to hijack us. They are selectively releasing stories, selectively having issues to make people look different directions, to not focus on the criminal empire that is now running us. Our government's a cartel, period. And so they are selectively listing things. Do I believe in UFOs? Better believe it. Are they holding stuff in back? You better believe it. Is now the time to focus on it? Not at all. Why do you have it? People don't ask the right things. We had this train derailment, right, that leaked all this chemical in a horrible way. Why is nobody talking about that chemical was outlawed 2 decades ago? Who loaded those cars and where were they going? See, we're not asking the right questions. We're not focusing on the right things. Who was even storing that stuff to begin with? Who decided to move it?
What do you think is behind that?
Well, that was to destroy a waterway. Remember, and they can condemn an area, right? If you make it toxic enough, you can condemn the area. You can force people to move out of their homes and move into your new 15-minute cities like they want. And that happened to be the single most important waterway in the United States of America. That goes all the way from Ohio out through Louisiana and everything else. You got to look at it right. That was an act of war. They could have mopped up every bit of that chemical, right? The 2 worst things you can do is let it soak in the ground or wash it off or put it on fire. What'd they do? Put it on fire, then washed it off.
And you hear about it for 2 seconds, and then it's a UFO.
And it's already in the water. We've had 58,000 animal deaths now, and they tell you, no, it's okay. That was an intentional act to poison water. That is what's going on in America.
And are you concerned about AI? Do you think there should be some type of law with it, that it doesn't go too far? Are you concerned with Elon Musk?
I don't know how you would manage it.
Yeah,
I just don't know how you would manage it, because it depends on whose hands it in. AI is a fantastic thing. I have 9 artificial intelligence patents. I use AI and how I found out everything that went wrong with the 2020 election doing the audit in Arizona. That is primarily AI. It's either used for good or bad. It's just like anything else. How do you decide who's good? How do you decide who's bad? Do you have oversight? People don't even understand. You do AI every day. You create it. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. Every time I go on the phone and do something, I'm building AI.
It's even more than that. You ever gone to a website and you see the 9 little windows and it says, tell us which one's a fire hydrant, tell us which one's a stoplight or a boat?
Thing, yeah.
You know that's AI, right? That's not security. People think, oh, I got to pick it right so I can get into the website. No, you didn't, dumbass. Here's what it is. When it says, tell me what a boat is, when you're just clicking a boat, all that is that's MIT, their artificial intelligence engine. They think it's a boat, but they can't quite tell because of the angle or the fuzziness, right? Mm-hmm. And so what they're doing is they're serving you those pictures because the computer's not 100%. So what are you providing to it? Your computer, which is your brain, your cognition, because your eyes can tell the difference. So when you click, this is a boat, this is a boat, this is a boat, confirm, oh, yes, this is a boat, you just trained their computer for them to think like you. That website just got paid a fee. It's not a security feature to get you in. It's you're going to pay to enter. You're going to get us paid. You are training MIT's artificial intelligence photo recognition program.
That's some shit. And nobody would ever think that.
That's exactly what it is. And you're doing it. People are doing it by the millions a day. You are training them to have the very oversight to understand what everything is from every angle, every fuzzy, not fuzzy, daylight, not daylight. Is that really a light? Is that a car? Every time you do that, you're training the system against you.
And last thing, Sue, to make sure you don't miss your planning, you're plenty of time there. Are you concerned with Elon Musk, right? Right now, maybe not, whatever. But say Twitter becomes the biggest social media platform. Then he has the Neuralink with the chip. Then he has the best rocket. Then he comes out with the phone. Then he has this. Isn't that a ton of power for just one person to have?
Well, we got to let basic economics take over. First off, one of my patriot counterparts for patents has a patent for a chip that they implant in your head. That's for people with migraines. And a little bitty chip resides in your skull. And when it starts to see that electrical storm for migraines, if you ever had migraines, when it starts to see that signature, it basically sends a pulse to get that signature not to storm anymore, and it instantly stops migraines. There's beautiful reasons for having things. Beautiful reasons for having things. Can anything be used for evil? Anything can be used for evil. The odds of Elon owning all of those when they're to their complete fruition is not that great, meaning people will buy them out, leverages, whatever. I don't begrudge him the money, but you also have to understand the stuff Elon does is the stuff that people believe can't do, and he has the balls enough to say, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
He does.
Now, I don't think that's necessarily evil. Evil wants to take your ass over. Evil wants to take what's easy. You know, people say he's got too much money. Fucking, he put up all of Tesla stock to get the rockets going. He's a problem solver. I personally do not think Elon's bad. Can anything have too much power? Yes. Does he care about that money? No.
He sold all his houses.
No, he doesn't give
one house.
What he cares about is if he could pump out 10 more kids with 20 more chicks. Now, I don't know how he's going to do that, but he's going to try, right? I think Elon's a godsend. Elon knows what's real. You fuck the people, it's over. He doesn't want it over. So I do not think he's a bad guy. I do not think he's a bad guy in weight. I know a lot of people want to work on that because they now think Elon has too much power, so they're going to try to shit on Elon. But look, as soon as Elon started taking back Twitter, what did they do? SEC investigation, slapping fines on this here. They're trying to crush him
into the Senate. I'm all for him. I just wanted your opinion.
No, that to me tells me he's right over the target. I have no problem with him. I think he's a hero.
And what invention do you see coming that Americans aren't ready for? Or not ready for, they just wouldn't expect?
And as far as new technologies?
Yeah. Something that you could say.
It's really a difficult one to say because there's just, I mean, the stuff that's coming on the horizon are so great from the predictive things. I think in social media, especially in advertising, I believe you can predict people's intent. They might not buy then, but you can say they're going to do it within 2 or 3 months. But any one particular one, no. What is the number one thing I'd like to see reinvented that could change the world? American pride.
Yeah. And those at home that just don't want to vote anymore, they think it's
go register as Democrat, start to learn fucking Mandarin.
And that's it.
Yeah. And when I come through the neighborhood fighting for your lives, and if it's muddy, lay your ass out in the street so I can get my equipment through and roll right over you, and I'll still fight for you.
And where can we go to alternative to Amazon, Walmart, Target, all these dirty that you would never think?
If you want to make a difference in the world, and if you want to learn how to fight back, you want to learn how to say fuck you to this woke system, I have a website called makewokegobroke.click. It's not .com, it's just .click. Makewokegobroke.click. You're going to put in your information there. Now, this is really radical. I want to tell you, it's shocking because it's not going to pump you to a website. It's not even going to give you a click. It's going to do something really radical. You're going to get a phone call from a real human.
A real human?
A real human, not a synthetic one. And we're going to show you how to fight this war to basically take your money back from the woke. It's, that's why it says we got to make the woke go broke. So it's makewokegobroke.click. We're all fighting in the trenches. If you want to fight America, that's how we fight in the trenches. That's how we get it done. And I'll show you how to do it.
And the best way to find you?
# Jovan, like the bad 70s cologne, right? And as you know, as I sit here and sweat, I don't smell like that. So it's Jovan. Try having that fucking name growing up in Texas, right?
Right.
That's why I learned to fight, getting my ass kicked over a name like that. But remember, I'm only first generation American. Hutton, like E.F. Hutton, you should listen to me. Hutton. Pulitzer, like the prize, but I'm more like the free parting gift if you hurry up and order now. So it's Jovan, Jovan, Hutton, Hutton. Pulitzer, Pulitzer. Just do # Jovan Hutton Pulitzer, and that's my extension everywhere. On most social media, you'll find me. They kind of block me a little bit on Twitter. It's just Jovan H. Pulitzer, but that's usually the way you can find me. I'm all social media. I'm one of these guys. I do look at all my email. I can't get back to them. I get thousands of them, but I try to comment, try to be there. I broadcast every day, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 7 days a week. I do a program called Cut the Crap, which stands for Culture, Race, and American Politics. Because I believe with all these fucking politicians, you just want to grab them by the fucking lapels and go, cut the crap. And so we basically talk about this stuff. We talk about this crap because I believe my job is to make you the smartest patriot in the room. Because if you don't know what's being done to you, you can't fight it.
You don't know. I mean, me and him, I mean, you know who I've had on. I didn't know 80% of what you told me.
This is my job. It's just to open eyes. I just want to make you dangerous. I want to make you informed so you know what's going on. So that's Cut the Crap, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 7 days a week. Now, why do I do that? Because I'm a marketer. So I give it to you in Central Standard Time because it's 777.
And I'll have all that in the description. And I hope you come back again, man. This was really fun. And thanks for sharing your story, because if you can get through that, all of that, not just a little bit of that, all of that, and become one of the best inventors in the world, I mean, unbelievable things. Anybody can do it. And they should take that part of this, cut it, copy it, I don't give a shit, and just play it over and over again until you do it. And congratulations on everything. I mean, what an honor, man. You got anything, Rob?
The only one question I have, and this is just a simple answer. 2024, who versus who, in your opinion, is it going to be for the president of the United States of America?
I think the ticket that we're going to see, first let's start Trump's side. It is going to be Trump, and it's going to be a battle because the system's trying to hold up DeSantis. And I know DeSantis, right? And I've met with him and sat there in the governor's mansion and had breakfast with him. I like DeSantis, but I don't think DeSantis is what we need. I think Trump's going to come roaring back. I think his running mate is probably going to be Carrie Lake, which I like. She's tough as nails, but it's probably going to be Carrie Lake. I would settle for General Flynn. I think that's freaking brilliant. And I would love General Flynn, and America would know it. Knowing who the ticket will be in 2024, man, that's a tough one. I don't know if Joe survives it. The writing on the walls are serving them up. So I see them when they're letting things come out and they're letting the media talk about criminal ties to China, and you're hearing it, and they're doing investigations. I'm not sure they're going to let Joey last. I don't know who's going to come in. I heard Gavin Newsom. He is, he's a nice looking guy. He's pretty enough for people, right? But he's just a freaking puppet. I don't know who his running mate will be, but I think they have to wipe the ticket. But maybe if they keep Camilla around because she was California too, it might be it. But that's all I can see on the horizon. The out of left fields that I would worry about, just being honest, is if Mark Cuban pops up his head and says he wants to run as the Democrat, which I could, and I know Mark exceptionally well. I could see
that happen.
I could see Mark doing it because that's Mark. But I just think that would be dangerous, and it would be a very shallow vote that would be dangerous, but I could see him being the person that wants those accolades. That one worries me.
Wow.
Or The Rock.
The Rock.
No, you think I'm kidding. I could see The Rock. I could see The Rock doing it too. The Rock.
The actor of The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson.
I could see Dwayne Johnson taking it on, and that one scares me.
Wow.
That would be interesting.
That scares the hell out of me. Now, I don't, but see,
He's got a lot of popularity.
And I've known Mark for an exceptionally long time. We were all in the same trenches developing stuff way back when in Dallas and everything else. And Mark has tremendous talents. But Mark has gone more to the left side than forever, and then being in the NBA and all that wokeism and silver and stuff, it's wokeism. The Rock knows how to play the system. I was very concerned when he came out and talked about Biden and supporting Biden in the midst of all this junk, because that's like cutting off half of his audience.
Yeah.
Which is just fucking nuts. And I hate when stars do that. But I'm not to the extent, do I know that he would be America driven? He may be far more America-driven than most, but he does have the pull, and we're shallow enough society for those two that just because we know their name and they're a household name, we would do it, and that worries me too. But I don't want any politicians. I know it's got to be somebody from the outside either way. Mm-hmm. But again, if Rock came in and did the right thing, he'd be just like Donald Trump, who went in and went backwards in net worth being a president. He's the only one that's ever done it. Yeah. The other ones just milked the system. But those would be the two wild cards that I would be worried about. I personally think Donald Trump needs to complete his mission. He opened our eyes to the fake media, fake news. He needs to complete his mission because he proved he can do it the first time. To be backed by Carrie Lake, I think that's phenomenal. She is a female Trump. I love that quite a bit. She's rock solid. I'd love to see that. We've got to get America back on its feet, thriving, and they need heroes and patriotism, not people that are just going to do homeostasis and do it. And so I still want to err on that patriot side. I'd love to see President Trump do it and win again. It's going to be a hard fight.
Do you think he will?
I think he has what it is, and if we keep sticking at it, we can. And if we go in with our eyes open, we can. We're still going to have to worry about those swing states, which they have infiltrated. But if we're smart and get together, we can clean up a lot of that before the 24 election
and push it out enough.
Yes.
All right, Jovan. Thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for all the jokes.
Thank you.